chat about. In regards to Evolve, I haven't seen a preview or anything. So it's going to make it a little bit difficult to talk about what's going to be on the show. I don't even remember. I mean, there might have been, but I don't even remember seeing a preview on NXT about what they had lined up for Evolve this week. So I'm really in the dark as to what we've got, to be honest. So we can have a little look, see if we can find anything in regards to that. The other issue I've got is the chat. Now, I'm very interested to see if this is going to work on this stream, because this would not work during our members stream. Just would not work at all. So I want to have a look, see if it's going to work on this stream. I think, we've got a problem in regards to our members only stream not showing the chat, because that would not do that that would not show during the members stream. So I think there's a little bit of a problem with the members only thing, but I'll have to try and figure that out as to how we are going to make that work. That's interesting. That is interesting, because the chat was not showing for the members stream. And so in my head now, I'm thinking this stream is public. It's going out to the world. The stream I've just done was members only. And I wonder if the members only aspect was blocking the chat from working. And I don't know what the solution to that's going to be. So that's going to be an interesting problem. But that's my issue, not your issue. That's something for me to chew over and have a little think about. So, yes, hello. Well, we've got a chat. That's great news. Yeah, I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's had a good day. Let's have a look at Wrestling Observer and just see what the top story is for the day, or the top stories. Miz is expected back in WWE soon as American Gladiator wraps up filming. Ruby Soho has resumed her in-ring training following the birth of her first child. Alba Fire is going to challenge for the Speed Champion. I forgot the Speed thing was still going, Does anyone watch Speed? I haven't seen that in months and months and months. I forgot that was even still going. Cope celebrates 33 years in wrestling. And he said it won't last much longer. Cody Rhodes turning heel. He said, I don't know if we're actually on that road. That's a comment that Cody made about turning heel recently. Where did he make that comment? Busted Open. Busted Open. They asked him about it. Cody said, one thing I've noticed about turning heel is it only really exists on X. And it's deep. It's a deep discussion. You never say never in wrestling. There are plenty of people that have got the capacity for light and dark. But I don't know. I don't know if we're on that road within the time that I have left in wrestling. God, that's an interesting comment, isn't it? He's not just saying, I don't know if we're on that road. He's talking about how long he's got left in wrestling. He said, I don't want to go as far as to make any promises, but I can tell you the goal with SummerSlam is that if people felt a certain way about WrestleMania, I would put that all on my back and take all the credit and responsibility for them not feeling satisfied. I would like to get them to the finish line with SummerSlam. I am very much looking forward to doing this dance again. What does he mean by that? On Busted, Rhodes spoke about facing Cena at SummerSlam after he lost the title to him at WrestleMania. He briefly addressed criticism that some had of the match, saying if people felt a certain way, it's their goal to correct that at SummerSlam. Do you know, I think that's actually a really interesting comment, because I think a lot of people were down on WrestleMania. I mean, you've only got to look at the cage match scores, and I know that cage matches look down on, and I get that. I look down on it. But I only look down on it because people use cage match to go, oh, have you seen this? Look at this score, look at this show. And then you look at the amount of votes, there's like 20 votes. And you're like, well, that's hardly anything, right? When it comes to WrestleMania, though, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of votes. It's a slightly different story. And on there, it was getting like 5 point something. Like, you know, our community were really down on it after night 2 as well. So, yeah, I don't think WrestleMania 41 is looked on with much fondness. There was obviously a big backlash about The Rock not being there, Travis Scott coming down to the ring, blah, 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 blah. I think there was pushback. And, do you know, it is interesting because, yes, they are aware of that. And, yes, I think there is a chance that they correct that at SummerSlam, or at least try to. Because they're not going to want the disappointment of WrestleMania to also then bleed into SummerSlam. You know, if WrestleMania didn't deliver, they're going to want to make sure that SummerSlam does. So I'm not worried, actually, about that match. Even though it underwhelmed at WrestleMania, I'm not worried about it doing the same at SummerSlam. I think they will go out of their way to make sure that's not the case. So, yeah, interesting. I'm looking forward to SummerSlam. I think it's a big, big opportunity to kind of set up the rest of the year, maybe give us what we were missing from WrestleMania, hopefully give us a banging 2-day SummerSlam, and hopefully that then goes on to become the norm, and actually we then have really good SummerSlams that can be a little closer to WrestleMania in their grandeur. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that show. Let the games begin, says Carla. John Cena was on this morning in the UK. Yeah, I did see that. He was just talking about his film, really, wasn't he? He was talking about his film, and he was talking about wrapping up with wrestling. They asked him, how are you going to feel? And he said he feels great right now, really loving everything they're doing, telling stories and whatever. And, he said he was really enjoying it, but he doesn't quite know how he's going to feel when it's all done. He said he'll have to come back in January and let them know. So, but yeah, he was in good spirits. Randy wants to wrestle till he's 50, said one chilled bunny. Do you think he will take over Cena's titles? I actually think he should be the outright record holder. The reason why I say that is because I think John Cena is one of the biggest superstars in the history of WWE, and I think that John Cena is someone that will always be on Mount Rushmore or around Mount Rushmore. I think in 50 years' time, John Cena's name will still be around the Mount Rushmore conversation. I don't know that he'll be on it. I don't know that he's on it now, but for a lot of people, he is. And I think that, even in 50 years, his name will be around it. I don't know about Randy. Randy's a really interesting one because Randy's had amazing success, and Randy has had an amazing career, but he's never, you could maybe make the argument like Legend Killer, and there was a few fleeting moments where he was the guy. You can't be a 15-time world champion and not have been the guy at some points. But I'm talking eras. If you think about the 80s, that's Hogan. You think about the 90s, and it's Hogan moving into Bret and Shawn, moving into Stone Cold and Rock. Yeah, that's 90s a little messy, right? 2000s, you've got a little bit of Stone Cold and Rock at the start, but only very slight. And then really going into Cena. Cena just really dominates that era. If you look at the 2010s, you got Cena going into Roman with Brock. And if you go into the 2020s, it's Roman with a bit of Brock, right? So I sort of feel like, where is Randy? Randy's got moments. 2009 is one that people always hold up. So he's always there or thereabouts. But I don't think he's quite as high up in the conversation for Mount Rushmore as Cena. I don't think he's as well known as Cena. I don't think his star power is as strong as Cena. I sort of feel like you could show most people, and this might be because of Cena's movie career, but I think you could show most people a picture of John Cena. They're going to know who it is. Show him a picture of Randy. I think a lot will, but not as many. I suppose what I'm trying to say is that Randy probably would benefit from having that record more than Cena would. I think Cena is a made man. I don't think like him having that record makes him any bigger. I don't feel like John Cena is a bigger deal now because he broke that record than when at the start of the year. I don't think it did anything for him whatsoever. Nothing. Not even a 1% increase. I don't think that any different whatsoever. I don't feel any different to John with him having that record compared to when he didn't. I think with Randy, I think for him to have that record, it would be something which would add to his legacy. I think, if nothing else, it would be a fun trivia fact, wouldn't it? Do you know who's got the most World Championship reigns? It's Randy Orton. And, you know, that would be, I think, something that would really add to his legacy. I suppose if you go John Cena, people will be like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, like, it's not really a surprise that John Cena's the outright record holder. But for Randy to have it, I think it would be a little bit of a surprise. So I actually hope he does do it. I hope that he does get 18. I don't think he will, because I think it's hard to win championships. I think he could get another one, maybe another 2. I don't know that he's going to get. I don't know that he's going to get to 17. I think his next one would be 15. One after that would be 16. He'd need another one to get to 70, and then another one to get 18. I think if you want Randy to get there, you are booking Randy to get there. Do you know what I mean? He's going to need some short runs. I mean, like Roman just had a run that was 4 years long. I mean, if Randy does something like that, he's having one more run, isn't he? So you're going to have to book him where he drops the title, wins it back. He's going to have to be around the title quite a bit. I can see him definitely getting a few more, but I don't know that he's getting to 18. I don't know that he's getting to 18, but I would like him to. I mean, he's been ever present. You know, he's not stepped away. He's not been sucked in by Hollywood. Like he's remained committed to WWE. He's loved by WWE fans. He's a legend, first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, one of the biggest stars of this era, the ruthless aggression era. And you know, just because he might not be quite John Cena level, because he might not be quite Mount Rushmore conversation level, doesn't mean he is not an outright legend, you know? He is absolutely up there with the likes of a Mick Foley, who I would also say never was the face of a company and is not John Cena level. Maybe a Roddy Piper, who was never the face of the company, never quite John Cena, not John Cena level. But, I mean, these are still outright Ultimate Warrior. Maybe you could make an argument Warrior was the face in 1990. But, I mean, he never had an era. He never was the face of, like, you know, a decade. He had a fleeting moment, just like Randy has had, really. He's had fleeting moments where he's been the face. But then John's come along and, you know, stole that spotlight. So, yeah, I would like for him to do it, honestly. I don't know if everyone would agree with that. I don't know if everyone would like to see Randy achieve that, but I'd be down for seeing it. Let's go down. Daze, Cena was Wimbledon today. Oh, was he? Ironically, I did not see him. Not a pun, just genuinely didn't see him. Oh, I wonder, he was probably seeing some Americans, wasn't he? I mean, if Serena Williams was still playing, I'm sure he would have gone to have seen her. She used to get a lot of celebrities going to see her. So I'm not sure who we went to check out. But, well, I suppose if you're in London and Wimbledon's on and you are John Cena, then, you know, getting tickets and going is not going to be a problem, is it? So, yeah, that's cool. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed watching a bit of tennis. And personally, I'm not crazy about tennis. It's been a sport which I've always not struggled with. But, you know, when it comes to football or cricket or rugby or, I don't know. I mean, I'd take all of those over tennis. I suppose part of it is we've never really had great British players. We had Andy Murray. And, you know, that was kind of fun to get behind him and support him. Before that, Tim Henman. But, I mean, you know, we don't have, like, great tennis players. That's definitely a sport that we've struggled in throughout the years to, like, produce great tennis. I don't know why. We do well at sport, but we just cannot produce great tennis players. But I love that Wimbledon is such a big deal. I think that's great. I do love that. I do love that the tournament is like, you know, world renowned. That's brilliant. But yeah, I don't know. I don't find myself really sitting down and watching much of Wimbledon. To be honest, I don't know that I'll watch any of it. I'm interested in Jack Draper, the British guy, the English guy. Or you know, if he starts getting to the last stages, I'll probably, you know, try and check him out. But yeah, other than that, it's just a bit of background noise, really. I was paying a lot more attention to England, India at Edgbaston today. James said NXT 627. Well, do you know, probably not a surprise. It felt like our stream was a little quieter than it has been previously. Like, we didn't get to like 5,000 views. You know, normally for like a Raw, we will do 12, 15. Same for a SmackDown. For an NXT, 5, 6. I think we did 4, 9, and that was with doing an extra hour afterwards. So I kind of felt like it was a little bit quieter. Made sense because it was taped. So, you know, tape show, that says to me that people are probably seeing results, or, you know, I'll just watch on catch up, you know. So it's one of those where, fine, you know, back to normal next week. I mean, I wasn't blown away by that show. I don't think anyone was. Even when I did the opinions video, normally we get a good like 30, 40 responses. I think we had 12 where, like, you know, people had like put in their thoughts and people were like, it's about a 6, like, it's fine. So yeah, move on. It's still not a bad number, in all fairness. 620 odd thousand. I mean, still not a bad number. It's not starting with a 5. But they have been up in the 700,000 range recently. So I think they'll be looking to bounce back to something a little bit juicier next week. Thomas says, I was at MetLife that year Aaron got hurt. I don't think Fields is going to equal what Rodgers did last year. 28 touchdowns and 11 ints. 11 ints, which you lot might not know what that means, but it means interceptions. So, you know. Good numbers there from Fields. So definitely someone to keep an eye on there. So Thomas, shout out to you, even if you still haven't figured out how to get a profile picture. Ben said, Daze, plans for the weekends. I think July is going to be a big month. WWE women are headlining. It's been a long time coming. Are you looking forward to Evolution or Saturday night's main event? I am honestly looking forward to Evolution so much. I'm not just saying that. I am really genuinely excited. It's no secret, I love women's wrestling. I mean, I spoke before about Jim Cornette and his podcast, and I got respect for Jim. He's, you know, an amazing wrestling historian. He's been there, he's done it. He was a photographer, he was a great manager, you know, he trained wrestlers. You know, he doesn't mince his words. And, you know, not everyone's a fan of him, but his podcast is... I can't imagine the wrestling world without it now, to be honest, right? I mean, it's not something that I listen to every week, but it's something that, you know, quite often his little clips will be recommended to me. I'll listen to them, I'll get his perspective on it, and a lot of the time I find myself in agreement with a lot of what he says, but I do not agree with everything he says. And he, historically, has really had very little time for women's wrestling. And that is one of the biggest kind of disagreements that I would have with him. I think women's wrestling is amazing. Not even in a perv way. I just think that there seems to be this, like, some people want to see the big muscular guys, the big strong muscular wrestlers going at each other, battling to see who's the best. And anything less than that, anything smaller than that, be it a smaller guy or girls that obviously aren't going to be that size, are not interesting to some people. And I massively disagree, because the counterpoint I always come forward with is, imagine if boxing did that. Imagine if UFC did that, where they only focus on the big guys. I mean, Canelo Alvarez is one of the most popular boxers in history. He fights at like super middleweight. He fights middleweight, super middleweight, right? The most he's gone up to is light heavyweight, like, and he lost, right? Because it was outsized. So, you know, we're talking about someone that's around that sort of middleweight range, right? Look at the pay-per-view numbers that Canelo has put up. Look at Floyd Money Mayweather, right? Floyd Mayweather, one of the most recognizable names in the history of boxing, nowhere near heavyweight, right? Absolutely nowhere near heavyweight. Jump over to UFC. Who's the biggest star they've ever had? Conor McGregor. What division did he fight in? Lightweight, right? A tiny guy. You might not know or think that he's small, but he's small, right? I mean, I think what's lightweight? 170? I think it's like 170, 170 pounds. Think about that. People used to mock 205 Live, like the cruiserweight division, thinking that was small because 205, you know, if you're 205 pounds, you know, I mean, that's in WWE, that's the small cruiserweight division. Conor's 170. And you're talking about someone that's got some of the biggest pay-per-view numbers of all time. Look at Manny Pacquiao. Some of the biggest pay-per-view numbers of all time. Yeah, of course, there's heavyweights out there that are amazing and get numbers, but some of the biggest draws in history are the smaller guys. There is this weird thing in wrestling where people are so fixated on size. I don't think that should matter as long as it is really good quality wrestling. You know, this is why I'm a big believer that there should be like a middleweight championship in wrestling or a light heavyweight championship. Because I think you've got a lot of smaller guys that if they were fighting against each other, because I do agree, if you've got Brock Lesnar taking on flipping, you know, Johnny Gargano, like, you know, that's going to look a bit silly. You know, you're expecting Brock to destroy Johnny Gargano, just like if flipping Tyson Fury was to go up against Mayweather, right? You'd expect Fury to easily deal with Mayweather because at some point the size just becomes too much. At some point, size overtakes skill. You can be an amazing, skillful fighter at a certain weight, but at some point, if you've got a bigger guy that's just going to outmuscle you and just, you know, flipping hold you at bay like this, you know, their reach is going to be too much. The size of their fist, the power they can generate is going to be too much. Like, for me, I just sort of think, like, it's a real shame to think that way. And I feel that way about the women. Just because the women are of a smaller size than the guys doesn't mean that they're like not entertaining or can't do it or whatever. I mean, like, look at how popular EO is. Look at how much fun Asuka has provided. Look at how over Becky got. Look at how over Rhea is. Look at the work that Liv's been able to do recently. So, yeah, I love women's wrestling. Always have. And I'm really excited for Evolution. Like, I'm already at like an 8, and as we get closer, it's probably going to go up. So, yeah, sign me up. James, I did see you say, did I see the news on Britt Baker? I didn't. No, I didn't. What are the streets saying, James? What are the streets saying? Nightmare said, I've got an idea for a new women's promotion. Make it topless, but not in a traditional way. Every other part of the body is covered. Everything except boobs. It's $1 billion idea. That is $1 billion idea, actually. Would you cover the vag? I mean, if we're going to go perv, let's go perv. Maybe the anus, the vaginal canal, right? Honestly, it's a lovely place to visit. Lovely place to visit. And the boobs, maybe they could be exposed. I don't know. I think I'm with you. I think that there is definitely money to be made. So, Nightmare. I think you're very brave. I think you're very brave that you have publicly come onto this stream and put this out there. Because, to be honest, someone could steal that and make a lot of money. So, I hope that doesn't come back to bite you. Yeah. Not the vaginal canal, the idea. I remember Brett with the Jets. They were 8-2, said Thomas. And then the wheels came off. The Jets Express. I believe the franchise is cursed. Ben said AEW pay-per-views. I think Tony Khan relies for wrestlers to put on good matches and no cringe segments. Tony doesn't need to do much. He lets the wrestlers put on good pay-per-views. Mayor Pete, hello, said Britt still has a year left in her contract. The news isn't worth paying attention to. Oh, what is it that like she might be on her way over, or that WWE are interested, or something like that? James said Dynamite 300 tonight. People are saying that they wouldn't last a year. Apparently she is trying to leave AEW, but she does still have a year left. Tony will not release her despite the fact she wants out. Some are also saying that that's not true about her wanting out. Oh, right, okay. It's messy then. Messy. Ben said apparently she wants out, but people are disputing it. I think she does want out. Why would she not want out? I think she does. She was, do you remember back in the day, she was one of the pillars of AEW, and it was her, and it was MJF, and it was Jungle Boy, and it was Sammy Guevara. You know, those were the pillars, the future. And oh my God, the drop-off has been severe. I mean, I don't know what she's doing now, but yeah, I mean, she has completely been sidelined. I mean, there's been rumours of her falling out with Thunder Rosa. There's been rumours of her, I think, falling out with some other women as well. I don't know if she's been a bit problematic backstage. I mean, obviously, she had the breakup with Adam Cole. I'm sure that's been difficult. I don't know, man. I mean, if you look at that woman that was during the pandemic era, a bit like a Chelsea Green, like people loved her. She was ever present. Do you remember didn't she break her leg and they still had her on TV with Rebel, and she was sort of sat telling Rebel what to do as she kind of sat on this like throne, or I think she was on the back of a truck actually. I think she was in maybe a wheelchair or some sort of chair on the back of a truck, and then I think, was it Ruby Soho or someone jumped in the van and started driving off, and she was not able to compete, but they still found a way of getting her on TV, and people loved her, and she was great, and she had at that time the best women's match, which was her and Thunder Rosa. And so, you know, the drop off has been really severe. I could understand her feeling like, I've had my time here. I don't know that my time's going to come back around, or even if it does, if it's going to be anywhere near as great as it was before. It's one of those, isn't it? You might get to the point where the grass just looks greener. And you look at like Mariah May going over and how she's being presented. You look at Ricky Starks and how he's being presented, and Ethan Page and how he's been presented. Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill. You could understand her looking at that going, I want some of that. I know I'm good enough. I want some of that. And listen, I'd take her in the NXT division. The only concern I'd have is that there are rumours she's a bit difficult to work with. That's the only concern I would have, really. Tony spent 15 million on Riverside Entertainment at Craven Cottage, says Nick. Ben said, Daze, facts, very messy. I don't want Britt. She's had trouble with other women and seems to be problematic. Well, I would take her from a talent point of view, because I always thought she was good in that period. That kind of 2020 periods, I thought she was good. She was like the top woman, and she was good in ring. She had some of the best matches. She could cut promos. She could be entertaining. I thought she was good. But then I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was like, I mean, listen, if she separated with Adam Cole, that would sort of suggest to me that there was probably things going on behind the scenes. I don't know that you just go, should we split up? Yeah, okay. I mean, there's clearly going to have been stuff that's led up to it. So I wonder if there was like turmoil in her relationship. I believe she's picked up some injuries. I think she's probably felt like her place has been like, you know, taken away. I think she might have fallen out with creative. I agree. You know, she could show those exact same things if she comes into WWE, and it could be a disaster. But equally, I think there's a really good talent there, and she could be great in NXT. Put her in NXT, really strengthen that women's division, just like how Mariah May has gone over. Give her a little run in there with, you know, like the foresight to take her up to the main roster. I don't know. That would be my because if I was working in WWE, I would be interested enough to speak to her. And honestly, in an interview where I sit down with her, I am putting this to her. Britt, I think you're great in ring. I think you've got a good understanding of your character. You're clearly someone that knows how to get over. You know how to structure matches. You've been in big feuds, TV feuds. You've got experience. You're ticking loads of boxes here. But I got to tell you, I've got a major concern, and I want to just put it to you straight because I want your answer on it. And that is that, you know, there are these rumors that you are a bit difficult backstage, and that you have these fall-ins out with the locker room. And, you know, let's just do cards on the table. Like, can you bring some clarity to this? And I would probably phrase it somewhat along those lines where, listen, I'm just going to be honest. I think you bring a lot, but this is my concern. What's your response? And I don't know what she would say. She might say, look, I was going through a lot. My relationship was breaking up. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of promises that were made that never came true. It was actually becoming quite a toxic work environment. And I don't think that was of my doing. I think that I'd, like, in their eyes, I'd served my purpose, and they were more interested in other people. And I just found myself being squeezed out. And, you know, maybe there is some accountability I can take for that. But honestly, I think the situation was largely out of my control. I pride myself on my professionalism, but that was a very difficult situation. One that maybe in retrospect I would handle with a little bit differently, but I don't envisage that kind of issue happening here, because I believe you guys are obviously a lot more professional than the company I've just been at. Or, you know, if she was to say something like that, it might give you food for thought. You might be like, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know. I think there's something there. I would be interested in meeting with her if I was WWE, but I would have my reservations, yes. Daze, everyone, I hope you've had a great day, said Nathan. And you, Nathan. And you. Ben said Daze playing as Triple H and Britt Baker in roleplay. Not true. I was actually Britt Baker, and I think I was like, I feel like I was a William Regal, actually. I wasn't Triple H because in my mind she's coming into NXT. So if anything, I was maybe Shawn. But as I was role-playing it, I wasn't thinking I was Shawn. I think I was more thinking that I was... Honestly, I was thinking I was me. I was thinking I was me, and I was working in talent recruitment. But I don't, do I? I don't. So really, I did need to play the role of whoever is talent recruitment for NXT. And I don't actually know who that person is. It was William Regal, wasn't it, back in the day? I don't know who does it now. So I don't even know who I was role-playing as, Ben. I don't even know. But thank you for picking up on it, because I do put in this work, and I think it just gets wasted, honestly. There's a lot of role-playing that goes on. Ben, as someone who saw AEW after you stopped streaming, her wrestling had got a little sloppy. Maybe she lost that passion and focus. That's just a theory. An Austin theory, says Ben. Yeah, I can't comment on what happened after I stopped watching. So, you know, maybe there was a drop-off. But again, I would kind of refocus it and rephrase it, or kind of whatever, right? By saying that she probably has been through a lot with the breakup of her relationship, and I think she has struggled with her position on that card. You know, I think that to go from being the person, and, you know, you have to work. So this is what Charlotte struggles with as well. To go from being the top person, you know, being that top woman, In a way, it's a little bit like being Hogan, you know, a little bit like being that type of person. And then having other girls come in and taking that from you. You can understand seeing yourself slip down the card and struggling with that. I think that is something we've touched on before. I think it's really interesting because I think it's easier said than done when it comes to sports and sports entertainment, like accepting that. You know, imagine if you're world number one and, you know, you're at the top in tennis, and then all of a sudden someone comes along, they start winning, and then all of a sudden you get knocked off and now you're number two. And, you know, then maybe someone else comes along and you go down to number 5 and you're like, hang on, flipping 6 months ago I was number 1 in the world and now I'm number 5. And, you know, obviously you're going to keep working and trying to battle your way back. But I could understand mentally that being a challenge, that, you know, you maybe mentally thought you was going to have that spot for a lot longer. Like this was going to be your time. This was going to be your era. You know, this is going to be my time now. You've worked your whole life, even when you was a kid, dedicated your time day after day in the rain and the sunshine and missing holidays and not meeting friends and all the sacrifices and not eating what you want and going to bed when you're told, getting up when you're told, running miles, all this stuff. And you do it all to be number 1 in the world. And then you get there and it's over in a month or two. You know, and that's it. You was at the top, and then you thought this was going to be your era, and now all of a sudden you're number 5. Now you're number 6. Now you're number 7. We don't really talk about how much that must mess with people mentally, how hard that must be. And I think Charlotte's gone through that. Honestly, I think Charlotte has gone through that. I think Britt has gone through that. And I think the way you deal with that is obviously people are going to deal with that differently. Some are going to be team players and accept it and be okay with it. Some are going to really be bitter about it. And that kind of backstage politics, I think there's a lot more that goes on with that than we really know, than we really ever talk about. I think there's a lot more that goes on. You know, the whole "that don't work for me, brother" Hogan stuff, that hasn't gone away. That wasn't just a thing back in the day. Like, that's still very prevalent now. That's still a thing now. But maybe it's just, you know, we don't have as many wrestlers that have that same power that Hogan had. So I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting one, honestly. I think I wouldn't have that door closed to Britt. I think she's a really good talent, but definitely there'd be concerns. We don't need another Charlotte. She was the worst with the backstage show. It exposed a lot about her snobbiness, said Jamie. That's really interesting, Jamie, because I never saw that backstage show. So, again, you know, I'm talking about things where you lot will have seen more than I will have. So, perhaps you will have seen that, and, you know, for you it's a definite no. I could understand that. My viewership of AEW ended in early 2024, and I can't even remember what that show was called now. But yeah, I never actually watched it. I never saw it. So if that painted her in a bad light, then interesting. One Chilled Bunny says, "You're the number 1 fan, WWE fan. You deserve a commentator role," said One Chilled Bunny. One Chilled Bunny, shout out to you, my friends. I mean, I do love WWE. I wouldn't say I'm the number 1 fan. I do love WWE, but I am also very happy to critique it. And if there's things that I think aren't quite right, I am quite happy. But that's because I do love it. And I want it to be the best it can be. And I want, you know, us to be doing stuff that's fun, that everyone's enjoying. And, you know, it's because you want it to be a success. That's why, you know, we care about what they do. To be honest, if we weren't really that bothered, then maybe if they did some stuff wrong, you wouldn't really focus on it, or you wouldn't be like, you know, you wouldn't have the big conversations about it like we do. But we get stuck into stuff because we do want it to work, and we do love it, and we want it to be here for 50 years, 100 years. I certainly want it to be here for the rest of my life. So it's probably a week, 2 weeks. I have no idea. But yeah, like 50 years, 100 years. You know, we want it to go from strength to strength to strength. So yeah. Daze, is Julia considered a heel? Said Taker 1990. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, has she done anything that's heelish? Has she done anything? I don't think she's been disrespectful to Zelina too much. She didn't cheat to win. So at the moment, I don't think she is. I don't really regard her as a heel, but she definitely was when she first came in, because she was teaming with Roxanne. And she was like attacking Stephanie and people like that. So when she came in, she was interrupting matches and she was with Roxanne. But then she broke away from Roxanne, went over to SmackDown. And since then, I don't think I've really seen her do anything that's like heelish. I think they just brought her in as a bit of a heel and then broke her away. And now she's just Julia. So I don't regard her as being a heel, to be truthful. Maybe she was just being a heel character, said James. That's not Julia, that's Britt. Yes, maybe. Akeem said the Backstage show was good. Moxley was talking about hangovers. Well, they are good films. Britt's talk show was called The Waiting Room. I think I only ever saw one of those where she had a set. And yeah, that was good. The Waiting Room, that was quite interesting. That was a good idea. But I think I only ever saw one. There's nothing Charlotte can do to get away from the Flair name and reputation, said Aubrey. It's just too big. The name that opens so many doors is now taking its toll. Nightmare said, what was more shocking? Finding out that wrestling is fake, or finding out that blue raspberry is just raspberry? Ooh. I've never actually thought about what blue raspberry is, honestly. That's interesting. To be honest, I mean, I think I've never really thought about what blue raspberry is, but I'm not aware that there are blue raspberries. So I think I've always known that it's raspberry. Just raspberry, but blue. But why does it exist, actually? Why is it? Why have they made it blue? That's the question. Why is blue raspberry blue raspberry? No, I'm not surprised that tastes like raspberry and it's just raspberry. That doesn't surprise me. But I've never really thought about why blue raspberry exists. That's an interesting thing. So, yeah, I'm going to go with wrestling being predetermined, being more shocking. How do you watch Evolve? Said Jose. With your eyes. No, on flip. What's it called? Tubi. It's in America though, so if you're anywhere other than America, I don't know. Is Tubi in Canada? Don't know. Yeah, I have to use a VPN and then I have to sign up to Tubi, but Tubi's free. If you've got a VPN, go to America, go to Tubi, join up. It's free, and then that's it. You can watch it. Other than that, if you're in the UK, you have to flip it in. Wait for tomorrow, and then they put it up as a video, and it sucks. Hang on. Blue raspberry is what, said Akeem? What is raspberry? Blue raspberry is raspberry. Wrestling's not fake. What are you on about, Willis? Said Wrestling Russ. Blue raspberry is an underrated scent on Omos's perfume channel, said Aubrey. Oh, yeah, he does have a perfume channel, doesn't he? He's into his aftershaves, Omos, isn't he? Yeah, I've never watched that. But I saw one clip when he started doing it. I wonder if that's quite good, actually. That's a rabbit hole I've never gone down. Looking at, like, aftershaves and aftershave reviews, and I've never done that. That's a whole niche world that's I've never ventured down. One Chill Bunny said, I hope you can carry on for as long as you can. I love listening to you. You are the best. You are. What's your favourite finishing move? Said One Chill Bunny. One Chill Bunny, shout out to you. I like ones that can get hit out of nowhere. You can hit them anywhere at any time. And I always think they're the most exciting. So for me, the DDT was that. I mean, I'd say the DDT was like the original RKO in the sense of the fans chanted for it. They had signs for it. Jake would go for it and the wrestler would get out of it. When he hits it, it tend to put people away. So the DDT, I think, was like in many ways like the original RKO. And now you've got the RKO where, you know, he tries to get it on, people get out the way, he can hit it out of nowhere, the fans have got signs for it, they chant for it. It's 3 letters as well, DDT and RKO, you know. Both of those I think have got to be in the conversation for the best. Things that you can like get and hit out of nowhere. I mean, there's other great moves. I mean, like, I always loved the Razor's Edge. I thought that was quite a spectacular looking finishing move where you've actually got the person up, their arms outstretched, and then you like drive them down onto the back of their head. I used to do that quite a bit to my brother. My brother got razor edged quite often. So, yeah, I always like that. Obviously, the Tombstone as well, really cool. But if you want to talk about like modern ones, the Soul Snatcher, I think, is really impressive. You know, that's one of those finishers where it's like, if you've not seen it, first time you see it, you're like, dude. I mean, that did a lot for Soul Ruka in NXT. Just that one move alone, very, very innovative. And, you know, it's the kind of thing where you really do have to have like a bit of a gymnastics background in order to hit something like that. And she started to do it as well, not only in the corner, but like coming off the ropes, which is going to give her a lot more flexibility. I think before she was always going in the corner to do a Soul Snatcher. Whereas now I've started to see her using the ropes to kind of launch herself. So that means that she's got a lot more retail space, a lot more available space to actually hit that move, you know, off anywhere. So I think that might even make it even better. So yeah, I love really any of those. But there's loads of great finishing moves. I mean, like, I love the Tsunami as well. I think that's a brilliant. It's just a splash. But the way that Bronson hits it, he's got so much force to it. You know, I think it looks great. So, it's loads, honestly, loads. I think I just wish finishing moves actually flipping put people away. There's quite often people kicking out of finishing moves, and I think it happens a little bit too much. There's definitely times where a match feels like it's kind of got to the point where, okay, boom, finishing move, that should, and then they'll kick out, and you're like, I get why you've done that, because you want it to be a shocking moment, like, oh my god, I can't believe it, they've kicked it. But there does come a point in a match where you're like, no, that's it, that should have been it. Really, I've just seen so much stuff, and then boom, they finally, if you've got a weakened opponent that's just been battered and then you manage to hit your finisher, that's it, that has to be it. But there's too many times where that happens and then they still kick out, which is a bit frustrating, but not a massive problem, to be honest. Do we think that Cody Cutter is like the RKO, said One Chill Bunny? Yeah, I'd say it is. I like the Cody Cutter. I think it looks good, of course, but yeah, I mean, it's very much the same sort of gesture, isn't it? So it probably does, as a result, probably does suffer from being so similar. The one thing I'll say, though, is it is very good when Cody goes against the ropes and launches himself up, like gets some really good height. If he can like really get some good height, come down and really get it, like, I've seen some great looking Cody Cutters, and when people like take them really well as well, like, so good. So Cody Cutter's great. I prefer that over the Crossroads. Not crazy for the Crossroads is fine, but I think the Cody Cutter looks a lot better. Hannah, hello. Fun trick, if you put on 2.5 on a wrestling theme, it becomes an ultra heel song. More specifically with Chavo, it's funny. It's like an ultimate heel song, says Hannah. Okay. Edward said, Daze, how are you? How has your day been? I am playing 2K25. Carrion is my world champion for Raw. Sami, my world champion for SmackDown. Have you been up to much today? How's the family? Today I've got up and I have been kind of doing a few little bits and bobs. Really, I've been thinking and looking at like the members stuff. There's been a few tweaks made to the members sides, and what you're going to see now is you're going to see the member streams being more visible on the channel. I suppose it is probably worth just mentioning that I didn't want to do that. I've never done that before. I don't like doing it because that's all just bonus content. I sort of feel like for people that can't support the channel in that way, you know, but they still join us anyway, like I still really appreciate those people. Like, I love that our community join us on a regular basis. Like, if you just join us for the streams once in a while or even more regular than that, then I really appreciate it, right? I really appreciate it. And I'm really not trying to like push the member stuff, but I have a problem. And this is my only solution to the problem. My problem is I have got lots of people being gifted memberships and they don't know when the streams are. They don't know when to join us or where to go. And that's my problem. So my solution to that problem is to make the streams more visible. So I have been looking at that today about making them more visible and thinking about where do people go to find them and what that looks like, and changing thumbnails for those. We just said that we want next Wednesday members to send in videos, and I'm going to play them on the member stream and react to them and talk about whatever's in them. So, you know, I'm really trying to send the message out of next Wednesday on that member stream. Send me your videos. I'll need them in advance. I mean, I might put a post out for it actually. So I'm thinking about what's my thumbnail for that gonna be. What's my thumbnail for the games gonna be? Like, does that need to change? Do I need to make the thumbnails a little more, you know, vibrant? So yeah, that's kind of what I've done today. And then, of course, we started a member stream at 10, and now we started our Evolve stream early. I am going to start the Evolve stream early. I know there's not a real need for it. I understand that, like, do we need to spend 2 hours before Evolve? People will say, no, we don't. I get that. But the member streams start at 10, 5 Eastern, and they finish an hour later, right? That means I can either sit here and just wait to start the Evolve stream, or I just start the Evolve stream. So it's one of those where, yeah, we probably don't need 2 hours before Evolve, but just from a time point of view, I can either do it or just sit here and wait, and it makes a lot more sense to actually just do it, doesn't it? So, yeah, should mean more Evolve stream, which hopefully is going to be a good thing. One Chill Bunny said, I can't support, I'm broke, but I appreciate that you do that for the community. Well, One Chill Bunny, again, let me be crystal. If you just join us on these streams, then it is greatly appreciated. I mean, the member stuff is just bonus. It's just bonus. It's just extra. That's it. You're not missing out on anything that's essential or whatever. It's just a way of those people that can support the channel in that kind of way. It's just a way of me trying to give them something for that support. So, yeah, that's what that is. Hasib, hello. Daze, I'm heading into SummerSlam. Randy is the biggest name with no future on the show. Personally, I see the heel turn happening with him costing Cody the big match. Yes, I agree. I agree. I think that could be the direction. I think that Cena leaving as champion definitely feels like the direction. Again, if we talk about what's likely or unlikely, I think it's more likely that Cena leaves as champion. It's not guaranteed, but I think it is likely, right? And I think that it's going to be a case that we need then to distract Cody from Cena. Otherwise, they're just going to be around each other all the time. So this is going to be Cody's second shot at going for the title. If he's not going to get it, we have to move him onto something else. So how do you have Cena leave with the championship again, and how do you have Cody move on to something else? And I think you're right. I think that Randy fits that bill perfectly. You get a Cody-Randy feuds. Cena continues with his I'm going to ruin wrestling campaign. You get a big main event where, make it seem like this time Cody's going to do whatever it takes. John, at WrestleMania, I hesitated. There will be no hesitation at SummerSlam, right? You make it seem like Cody is going to do whatever he needs to do. And so, Cody's going to be like, I'm ready. For every eventuality, I am ready. But the one thing he might not be ready for is his friend Randy turning on him. So, yeah, I hear you. I think you're right. Do you think Cena turns face as champion and Randy... I need it to go up one more. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Do you think that Cena turns face as champion and Randy is the last match for Cena? Don't think so. I don't think they'll do Randy Cena again. I know that they already billed it as the last time. So I don't know that they'll now go back and then do that match again. They absolutely could, because obviously Cena Rock was billed as once in a lifetime at 28, and then we do it again at 29. So absolutely we could do that. But I don't know. I think that I think we did the Cena Randy match. I think it was done. I don't think we do it again. I'm not. If we're going to do a list of most likely final opponents for Cena, I don't think Randy is the pick. I know that people would probably want that because he is his great rival. But I don't think that's the pick. I don't think that's the direction. One Chill Bunny said, do we think Cena will lose the title soon and then win it before he retires? No. I don't think if he loses it, he wins it back. I think this is his final run. So I think that if he loses it, I think that's it then. I think he would go off to some other story, some final feud or something. Speaking of finishers, said Edward, I do have to admit that the AA isn't the best. I think it might be the worst on the roster. I think Cena should change his finisher for his heel run. Well, honestly, I think Cena should have changed everything for his heel run, because I think that the joy or the excitement of Cena turning heel is, it's all about what does that look like. People want Cena to turn heel because they want to know what his promos are like. They want to know what his matches are like. They want to know what his ring gear is like. They want to know what his Titantron is like. They want to know what the music is like. So I sort of feel like if you're going to turn him heel, then the joy of it is that all of those things should change. Now, you can keep the AA because, when someone turns face, turns heel, they don't automatically change their finishing move. But, DDT was Jake's finishing move, whether he was face or heel. Tombstone was Undertaker's finishing move, whether he was face or heel. So, the AA can stay. But I just think that there's a wider point to be made of, I think there was a real cop-out with them turning Cena heel and then really not changing quite a lot. He's still got the same sort of merch. He's still got the same music. His graphics just went black with his name in white. And I really do not like that. You get what you deserve and you deserve nothing. I really don't like that. I don't like it because I think it's just such a cop-out. I think it's such an easy, let's just not do it. Like kind of I genuinely believe that they already had the merch in the works. They already had an idea. They already had the designs. And I genuinely believe that they were like locked in with that merch, because I don't understand why you wouldn't change it to and explore what like a heel Cena would look like, what his new merch would be like. I think it's a shame. I think that you've took a bit of the excitement away from a Cena heel turn by not changing those things. So, yeah, I don't know if he'd need to change his finishing move, because people don't really when they turn face and heel. But I think there's definitely other things. People would definitely have enjoyed new music, you know? And if they didn't do it because they just thought people might cheer it, well, people cheer it anyway. I mean, there's plenty of people that are let's go Cena, Cena sucks. I mean, there's people that just will not abandon John. They will not turn their back on John. They will not boo John Cena. So if that's the reason why they didn't do it, I think they were wrong, because I think if you changed it, you would have given people, something to talk about. It would have been like, so this is what a heel Cena looks like. Now a heel Cena is largely the same as a face Cena, just moody, with black Titantron, and that's it really. That's the only difference. That's what we've been waiting for. You wanted to know what a heel Cena's like, well, there you go. Bit underwhelming is the truth. I think it could have been done better. NXT was 627, down from 729. Yeah, it's pre-recorded, isn't it? I mean, we know that that's the reason. I wouldn't really worry about it. I could sense during the stream that, there wasn't really as many people joining us. I know that we'd been away for a couple of weeks. That could have played a part. But I think, it's not too surprising to me to find out those numbers were a little low. So hopefully they bounce back and, come back to a good level when we go back to being live next week. And of course we're back next week with Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Evolve, member streams, everything's fully turned on. Unseen, it's coming, it's on the way, right? It is on the way. But just an incredible amount of disruption for Unseen. So it is on the way, but I've given up now saying when. I've given up saying, oh yeah, it's going to be tonight, it's going to be here. I don't want to mess people around, so it's coming. Just let's leave it at that. With Daze in good shape and streaming inside, I think Simon Dean's patented Simon system will get you to a better physical peak, says Hannah. Thomas said, I've got my minestrone soup simmering. Ace said, new entrance music and attire would have solidified the turn. Blue Wheel Sonic, hello, buds. Hope you're well. And I want to make sure that we're definitely getting to as many people as possible. Raghav said, all roads lead to Cena defeating Cody, only for Seth to cash in. Yeah, it's a good point. Can't ignore Seth with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Rob said people want in heel Cena to be Cena with spice added, but apparently Cena thinks tap water is considered a spice. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can fully judge the heel run until it's done, until it's run its course. And honestly, I expect there to be a mixed bag at that point. I think at that point you're going to see a mixed bag. You're going to see people enjoying it and saying it was great and they had a great time with it. And then you're going to see people saying, not for me, didn't really like it, think we could have done something better. And I expect that. I don't know what the percentages will be between those two. But, to be honest, whatever we do this year is whatever. It's really more about that final match. John Cena is retiring. He is going to have his last match this year. And, whether he's heel, whether he's face, whether he's a tweener, whatever he's doing, that is going to be emotional, isn't it? That there's going to be plenty of tears when John Cena is done. And certainly that moment where because he's going to be in the ring probably having just lost, I would imagine, right? And he's going to look dejected, deflated. He's going to be going through a lot of emotion in that moment. I fully expect Triple H to bring out the roster on the entrance stage. Fully expect the whole locker room to come out and applaud him. I fully expect there to be pyro, maybe a thank you John message that appears on screen. Maybe Cena getting a bit teary-eyed, his family being teary-eyed. I'd imagine that'll set a lot of fans off as well. I mean, do you know what I mean? Rather than worry about how people are going to look back on the year and the heel run and all that, I think that final match is going to just be flipping a gut punch. It's going to be an absolute gut punch, and I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. We have got a monster, mega, massive, historic, guaranteed moment coming up before the end of the year, and that is John Cena saying goodbye. It's the kind of thing that I could see being played out on like different shows. You know, I could see it being a case like on The Daily Show and things like that. They'll, you know, reference it, or I don't know, Sports Center might do show a little moment of it or something. It's one of those moments. John Cena is so popular and such a big name that I could actually see that kind of reverberating outside of wrestling. I wouldn't be shocked if like sports teams say thank you Cena, put tweets out and whatever after that last match. And actually, you know, it's one of those things that resonates outside of the wrestling community. I could definitely see things like that happening. Definitely. I mean, if you was like a sports team and Cena had visited you and had like posed with your journey, you're missing an opportunity by not posting that. Thank you, Cena, and a picture of him holding up your jersey that says Cena, whatever, maybe from like 15 years ago, you know, maybe like on a tour visited flipping Barcelona, or, you know, visited Manchester United or whatever, or a basketball team, and, you know, he's been seen wearing your jersey or whatever it might be. Like, you're probably missing a trick if you don't do that on that day. So I would be very interested though if it was more than just sports teams. I'd be very interested if it was like, you know, like flipping Wendy's had something to say, and McDonald's, and, you know, all these other companies. It's a really big deal, him walking away from wrestling. I could see a lot of noise about it on that day. Daze, what do we think will happen with Carrion after Night of Champions? Will he get pushed or released? Well, I'm not expecting him to get released. I think that he is going to be in a feud with Sami in the summer now. I mean, he's just had a match with Sami and then attacked him. Sami surely can't let that go. So I sort of feel like now Carrion's got an opportunity to actually, you know, say some stuff and get his teeth into stuff. I mean, he did a promo the other day, which had we have done unseen, it would have been in unseen, where he was like, you know, I've seen people saying that the wrong person got the victory. How does that feel, Sami? Carrion is... Sami's got a problem, the same problem the Wyatt Six have got, and that is that Carrion is not shy on going on social media and, you know, addressing the social media fans, the X fans, yeah, all those wrestling fans that are on X. You know, you've got a wrestler there that's going to engage with you. He's going to talk to you. He's going to tell you stuff, yeah, away from the show. Sami doesn't do that. Carrion will. So, you know, Carrion basically saying, how does it feel, like a load of people saying that I should have won? Well, he hasn't got that from the live crowd. He hasn't got that from, you know, the actual shows. He's got that from X. So just with that one line, he is basically saying to the people on X, I see you. I see your comments. And, you know, I'm going to use it now in a promo. Sami, how does it feel knowing that a load of people wish I had won the match, saying I should have won the match? It's clever. It's really clever. It's really clever, because all you're doing is you're fueling that support even more. And, you know, you're feeding that support even more. People love to know that they have been seen, their comments have been seen, that what they're saying is being seen. And that is what Carrion is doing. He's saying, I see what you're saying. I see that support. And so what's that going to do to his fan base on X and on social? It's going to fire it up, innit? What's Sami going to do in response? Well, he ain't going to do nothing on social media because he doesn't really do much with social media. This is a bit of a problem, honestly. I mean, I think, though, this is where you are going to get kind of X and social media shouting, we want Kross and all that stuff, which totally get is amazing, right? I support that. But I think that you will see different reactions from the live crowds. Like, I still expect the casuals and people that don't live their lives on X to, you know, be supporting Sami and be cheering for Sami. So I expect that to be, like, different. We know that the internet wrestling community, we know that social media is just a percentage of wrestling fans. You know, largely the wrestling universe, WWE universe, is made up by majority casual fans that enjoy watching wrestling on their TV, maybe watch it with their kids. Oh my God, they're coming to town. Shall we go? And that's kind of where you get a lot of fans that go to the shows. And then you've got like the X social media internet wrestling community that just makes up a percentage. I think that Sami is going to be fine with the wider fan base, but I think on X he's going to take a kicking. He's going to take a kicking. I mean, he took a kicking in the internet wrestling community at Night of Champions because he won the match. So, I mean, just the fact he won, people were not keen on that on social media. But the live, I mean, obviously Saudi fans loved it. And honestly, I think the wider fan base would have been on board with it as well. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I think Carrion's definitely winning the social media game. Definitely going to build up that ground support. He's definitely going to have people with him. But I still expect the live crowd to be with Sami. And I still expect it to be a case that it's going to be one of those, a little bit like Jey Uso, where the live fans are supporting him. He gets great reactions. People are yeeting. Kids absolutely love it. Numbers are saying that he's in a good place. But then you look online and people are moaning and complaining about it. And I think you're going to see that with Sami over the summer, honestly. Because I think it's time and time again that you see that social media is that sort of percentage. It's not the full story. So, yeah, to be honest, I'm a bit worried for him, though, because that's what I think's going to happen. But also what could happen is that groundswell of support on social media could grow and grow and grow. And it could be then that it bleeds into the live crowds. So, you know, there's a concern of that as well. I gotta be, it's not a feud that I'm loving. I thought I would, but, you know, for me, I'm looking at how do you get Sami supported and how do you get him built back up to where he was a few years ago, you know, when he was in Bloodline and people like really were behind Sami, like, and then he got to Montreal and, you know, everything was looking really good. How do we get him back to that? And what they've done is they've gone, well, let's put him in with Carrion. This will be a good way of using Carrion. It'll get Carrion on TV. It'll be a good feud for Sami as a credible opponent. But the thing is that you've now got a lot of people that are with Carrion and want Carrion to succeed. And actually, this feud runs the risk of not being the feud I think Sami actually needs. Where rather than getting everyone united behind Sami, you actually have kind of took the internet away from Sami. So it's like, I don't know that this is as good for him anymore. I don't know that this is the right feud for him anymore. So I don't know. A little bit concerned as a Sami fan that he's going to get destroyed online. But as long as it doesn't derail his momentum, like as long as he can come out of this feud and move forward and, you know, continue to build that support, that's what I'm hoping for. But we'll have to see. If we get Punk Gunther at SummerSlam, do we think Punk could win and then Seth cashes in? Or would we rather Seth go for the WWE title, says Hasib? Well, it's difficult because, honestly, I think I would have Seth go after the WWE title. Reason why I say that is because I think Seth, there's nothing else for him to do apart from be the face of the company. I mean, he has been multiple-time world champion. He is a great in-ring competitor. He's, tried loads of different gimmicks. He's like the macho man of this era where he's not the guy, but he's like the second guy. He's what Randy was to Cena. He's what Macho Man was to Hulk Hogan. Like, he's just that step behind Roman, isn't he? And you could even make the argument he's fallen behind Cody now. So I think, what does it do for Seth to be World Heavyweight Champion? It gives him a world title, but that is not the belt, is it? I mean, I don't know when it's going to ever be seen as being the belt. I don't know that it ever will. I mean, maybe if Roman had it and carried it and brought like prestige to it and treated it like it was amazing, maybe then we might be able to make some progress with this belt being seen as being like the belt. But it's the WWE title that's got the history that is the belt. And if I'm Seth and I want power and I want prestige and I can cash in on any belt, I mean, you could make the argument, okay, we'll cash in for the World Heavyweight title. That might be easier to get that. I get that argument. But why go for the easier belts? I mean, Seth has got an opportunity here to get the top title, to be the face. If you've got the WWE Championship, in my mind, you're the face. It just went from Roman to Cody to Cena. Look at the World Heavyweight Championship. What did that go from? That went from, what was it, Damian Priest to Gunther to Jey Uso to Gunther. I mean, it's a bit different, isn't it? It's a bit different. Damian Priest to Gunther to Jey Uso to Gunther is a little different to Roman to Cody to John Cena. I mean, it's just undeniable which one the belt is. So I'd like him to go after the WWE. I'd like him to go after the WWE, and I'd like him to try and get himself to the very top of this company rather than just settle for the World Heavyweight Championship because it's maybe an easier title to get, or it's, in his mind, good enough, right? I don't think that's the right mentality. I don't think that's what his mindset should be. I think he should want to now have got Paul Heyman, got backup, got himself where he has got money in the bank. I mean, he is just, everything's there. He's every angle is covered. He's got the wise man. He's got the support. He's got the opportunity. He's got everything. He's got everything. I don't see why he doesn't go for the WWE. The one thing I would say is I don't think him cashing on John makes a great deal of sense because that's a heel cashing in on a heel. But you could maybe do it where John is face and Seth cashes in on him as a face. So Seth as a heel cashes in on face John. Maybe you could do something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I think just from a storyline point of view, I'd like to see him go after that WWE. I just think it makes a lot more sense. Wasn't Seth the face of the company when he was champion, says Thomas. I don't believe, not when he was World Heavyweight Champion. So when that World Heavyweight Championship came in, which was it 2023? I mean, that was whilst Roman was champ, and, that was basically Roman being the guy. Roman had got both belts. We needed another belt for Raw, and so we just made one. And we just plucked it out of thin air. And it had no history, no prestige. And Seth won it. Seth carried it. And I just don't think that World Heavyweight Championship has ever remotely come close since its inception for, Seth being the guy. Seth, you could say, was the face when he cashed in at WrestleMania 31. But, of course, you are going back 10 years now. And that was when we came out of the Shield. And, that's, as we said, a long time ago. So, yeah, he had a little a little run with the belt. He had a little time with J&J Security. He had a run with being like the face with the authority and all of that. That was a good time for him, really good. But it was also quite short-lived. I mean, that was not a time period that went 3, 4, 5 years. That was a time period where it was like 12 months or so. And then, you know, we kind of get Roman and we go through that sort of babyface Roman run then. And, you know, you've got Roman and Brock battling. You got Roman and Triple H battling. Roman Undertaker at 33. Roman Brock at... I'm just thinking WrestleManias. I mean, you've got Roman and Brock at 31. Roman Triple H. You've got Roman and Undertaker. It's Roman. No Seth, apart from 31 when he cashes in the title. So, I don't know. I mean, like, he was kind of the face, but Roman was also around at that time. So, it's one of those where, you know, was Macho Man the face when he was champion between WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5? You could say yes, but you could also say Hogan was still around and Hogan was still massive. And I feel like the same is true with Seth. Like, he was the face, yeah, he had the belt, but Roman was right there. And Roman was just as big even without the belt. So, I don't know. I sort of feel like, yes, he had a little moment with it, but it wasn't very long. And it was a long time ago. And I think that, yeah, go for it. The table is set. Everything is there. Everything you could need to take that WWE Championship and then dominate this era. This, I mean, like with Roman working a reduced schedule and having had his long run, I sort of feel like the next 3-5 years are there to be taken. Someone can take, and I don't think it'll be Roman. I think someone can take these next 3 to 5 years and make it theirs. I think we're about to enter into a period now where someone can make this their era. Because I don't think it's going to be Roman, because I think Roman is going to be kept busy. I think he's going to be kept away from the title. He's just had a 4-year run with the belts. I don't think he needs the belts again. I don't think he needs a run with the belts. I mean, I think he will have another run, but I don't think he needs it anytime soon. And I think what we need to do with Roman is find compelling stories for him to have. And I don't think that's going to involve the championships. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what we do with Roman. But whilst Roman is kind of being put to the side, I think we treat Roman the same way we treated Undertaker, which is top guy, but keep him away from the belt for now. And I think that's what Roman will be. He'll be top guy, but let's give someone else a run with the belts. So we've just done Cody for a year. Who do we do for the next few years? If we do keep Roman to the side, who do we run with for the next few years? Is it Cody? Is it Punk? Is it Seth? Is it all of them? Do we rotate through them? I don't know. I do think there's a big opportunity for someone to go, this is my time. Seth's going to want it to be him. Seth's going to want it to be him. Seth is going to want to dominate this next 3-5 years. And it could be Seth. It could be that Seth is the one that keeps main event in WrestleMania, main event in SummerSlam. It could be that Triple H now goes, it's yours. Here's the ball. Here's the ball. It's your time. You've played second fiddle to Roman, but I'm going to give this is your period now. I got a sneaky suspicion it's Cody, though. I got a sneaky suspicion this next 3-5 years is Cody's. I think Punk's just going to be a bit part player in the sense of he's always going to get opportunity, he's always going to be around, but I think he is going to, you know, he'll main event a night 2, he'll have a title run, but I don't know that he's going to now dominate the next 3 to 5 years. I think it's between Cody and Seth as to who dominates the next 3 to 5 years. Jacob's coming, Jacob's rising, Braun's coming, he's rising. But neither of them are ready yet. They could make things awkward in a few years. But I can't see Braun and Jacob like main event in WrestleMania 42. I can't see, certainly not night 2, right? So this is why I'm saying I think, like, you know, if they're going to main event WrestleMania Night 2, I think it's WrestleMania 43 at the earliest. So there's opportunity here for someone to take this next 3 to 5 years, I think. And I don't think it's Roman. I wouldn't mind a 5-year run by Punk, said Thomas. Everyone that's assuming Cody turns heel doesn't favour in. There's not a face to run with for a couple of years. Well, I do think there's a gap there. I don't know that Jay is strong enough. I don't know that his promos are strong enough. I don't know that his matches are strong enough. I think his connection with the live crowd is. I think his yeeting is, and his entrance is, his presentation is. But I don't know. Is Jay ticking every box needed to be in that sort of Cody position? To you know, I mean, can you see Jey Uso in the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania? That's the question, isn't it? Can you see Jey Uso in the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania? I struggle with that. I think part of the reason I struggle is because I saw his match with Jimmy the other year, and it was really underwhelming. I saw that they just gave him a really short run with the title, and so that's obviously not a great sign. And so, you know, to have a conversation now about how they're going to make him main event in Night 2 of WrestleMania and be in the WWE champion and, you know, be in that, I don't know. I'm struggling to see that. This is why I agree. I think you got Punk. I think you got Cody. I think you got Seth. Roman's around, but considering he's just had the title for 4 years, I don't think you put the belt back on him so soon. I think he's just had the story that he will be remembered for. The bloodline story is his story. What I see in the future for Roman is Rock. I can see that us doing, like, I mean, like, I think Roman will be around for the build to WrestleMania. I think Roman will be around as we build to SummerSlam. I think Roman will be around as we're sort of around Survivor Series. So, you know, we just need to find feuds for him. Just like we did with Undertaker. Undertaker, you know, towards the end of his time, you just found things for him to do. And it wasn't the title. You know, you just gave him other things for him to keep him occupied. Like when he had to face Shane. If Shane won, he got control of Raw. You know, we did that at WrestleMania 32. Or like when he faced Bray Wyatt to figure out who the new face of fear is. You know, you just find other things for Undertaker to do. And you find other things for Roman to do. So I think Roman Rock does not need a championship at all. That match is that's about family. That's about loyalty. You might even say it's about the Ulafala and Tribal Chief and all this sort of stuff, right? The Tribal Chief versus the final boss. You don't need no belts involved in that. No belts. In fact, it's better if there's no belts, because that means that you can also have on the same card a championship match, rather than putting all of your eggs in the same basket. Like, you can do Rock Roman, which is huge, and then you've got earlier on in the card a championship match. You've got a champion defending a belt. That means that match is important, and Rock Roman is no bigger if it's got a belt involved, in my opinion. But James said Roman just had his 5th child. This bloodline shiz is never ending. Trini said, I just pray for Roman to stay healthy. He's already a legend. So what good is a race when you've already won? Edward said, when you say people won't boo Cena, I am one of those. Do you know what's better than anyone who... Hang on. Do you know what's better than any one thing? I can't understand why people think Cena needs to win the IC title, when reality it means F all. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he does. I think there's too much put into being Grand Slam champions. I don't think the Grand Slam champion thing means anything. When do we ever talk about Grand Slam champions? When do we ever talk about that being a massive achievement or something that's a dream? Yeah, people talk about winning world titles. You know, Sami is talking about winning a world championship. He's not talking about, trying to be Grand Slam champion. Oh, I need to win the World Championship so I can be a Grand Slam champion. In fact, if he does, I think he would be, because he's won the tag, he's won Intercontinental. So, he would have won a mid-card, a tag title, and a top title. So I sort of feel like Grand Slam champ. People made that argument with Undertaker, like, oh, he needs to win the Intercontinental. It's like, why? But what for? So he can be a Grand Slam champ? Who cares? Doesn't mean anything. They're like, in the list of accomplishments, that's so low down. You might as well say he needs to win the NXT championship, because he's never won that either. It just doesn't mean anything. I think, like, there's kind of it's a little bit like in soccer, right? And I know not everyone watches soccer/football, European football, but you've got loads of trophies you can win, but some are more important than others. In my mind, winning a Grand Slam championship, becoming a Grand Slam champion, is like winning the League Cup or winning the Community Shields. Like, it's an achievement, but there's way bigger things. Do you know what I mean? Like, in European football, like, winning the Champions League is regarded as maybe the biggest, or winning the Premier League is regarded as the biggest. And so for me, that would be like just winning a world championship would be the biggest thing you can do. Main event in night 2 of WrestleMania is massive. Like, night 1 is big, and you can say you're a main eventer, but night 2 is the night, isn't it? That's the night. So, for me, that's bigger than being a Grand Slam champion. So in my mind, I've got a list of, like, things that are in order of, like, what's the biggest thing you can do. And being a Grand Slam champion, I just really don't rate it. Maybe if we spoke about it more and it was more of a thing and it was mentioned more on TV and there was lists and, all you keep hearing about is, can John get 17? Can John get 17? I think Miz is like a 2-time Grand Slam champion. Does anyone know? What's the record for Grand Slam champion? What's the most anyone has been a Grand Slam champion? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I've not seen lists. It's not a conversation we have. To me, if we don't talk about it and there's not a big spotlight on it and it's not, like, really recognised as a thing, as a big deal, it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't really mean anything. So I'm in agreement with you on that. I don't rate it. I don't think it's something that important. I don't think it's something that special. Right, I need to, whilst we're just yabbering, I've got to get Tubi fired up because we've only got 11 minutes. I don't think anyone's thought about Cena getting the IC title since he turned heel, said brother. Carla said, wasn't the IC title way back in the 80s? Didn't the wrestlers have to be under a certain weight? Or didn't that last long? No, that wasn't for the IC. I'm not aware of that being in place for the IC. There was one for, like, other belts that's had that. But IC, to my knowledge, has just been open to anyone in the mid-card. Let's have a look where we're going. There it is. Boom. We did watch this last week. So... Okay, haven't we got Natalia actually on the show this week? I don't know. I don't know if she's facing Kylie or what we're doing, but I think we've got Natalia on the show. The episode is not there yet for all you Tubi stands. It is not there. We're only 10 minutes away. I don't think I've caught up, with those missing episodes. But we did see last week. Yeah, that was Kylie Ray against Wendy Choo, wasn't it? Right. But Daze, do we think Sheamus will win the IC title? Kyle, yes. I think that's one people do want. That's not for any sort of Grand Slam reason, though, is it? That is because Sheamus has not won it and he has spoke about wanting to win it. And so that is what people are... that is... Because, the IC title represents being the workhorse And I think that is some of the... I mean, that belt and Sheamus do really go hand in hand, don't they? It is crazy he's never won it. You think about someone that puts the work in and really prides themselves on their in-ring work. I mean, you would think that Sheamus would have been a multiple-time champion, IC champion. I mean, that belt, it really works for him. It doesn't really work on Dominic, to be honest. Dominic being IC champion doesn't massively work. Dominic doesn't really embody what an IC champion is. Sheamus absolutely does. So, you know, that's one that he wants, and people know that. And I think you can make a real thing out of that. I think it's realistic as well. You know, if Sheamus's goal was to main event night 2 of WrestleMania at this stage in his career, you'd probably say that's not happening. But his goal being, I want to win a mid-card title that I've never won before. You kind of go, yeah, go on, mate. Go on. I'm here for you to do that. I can't see why they won't do that for you. You deserve that. You put on banger after banger. And his match with Gunther at Clash at the Castle in Wales for the IC title was one of the best main roster matches of this era. You know, an absolute banger. It's funny, isn't it? Because when we think about SummerSlam 92 being at Wembley, we think about the IC title match. You don't really think about too much else. But that match was amazing, historic, Brett and British Bulldog. And then all these years later, I think 30 years later, they go to Wales to do Clash at the Castle. And, you know, it's the first time they're doing a major PLE, a big stadium PLE in the UK since 92. And once again, the IC Championship match steals the show. And Brett was there to witness it as well. Brett was actually there to watch that match. Gunther, Sheamus, and it was an absolute banger as well. It was so flipping good. So good. So, yeah, I would love to see Sheamus do it, and I think he will as well. Brother said those constant bangers that Sheamus puts on have to warrant some reward. He's got to win that IC title by the end of next year. It's Ads said, I'm struggling to find this. Well, if you're in the UK, you need to get a VPN so that you can go to Tubi. It's on Tubi. The new episode is not there yet. It tends to pop up about 5 to. So in a couple of minutes, it should drop. We don't start watching until it gets to the hour. The way that we do the watch along is that we just wait for, 6 minutes time. I'll hit play and we're off. It is a bit annoying. I wish that it was just live and we could all just watch at the same time. But, we've done this for a while now and it works. I mean, there's no dramas, no complaints. But, it is obviously not ideal. Daze, I've got a theory. With the Rumble in Saudi, they're going to want everything. So I think Cena wins his last match as champion and the title could be up for grabs at the Rumble. Cody could get it again. Could happen. Boomer said, I'm at a Tubi stand now. I've had it years, and I never even watched it until Evolve started, said Boomers. Didn't Sheamus win the WWE title in his debut year, said Porky Pig. Yeah, I mean, like, straight out the gates, they really pushed him. Yeah, he won against Cena, didn't he? And got that championship in a real shock. But... I suppose in a way he sort of bypassed the mid-card, but it's weird because he's dipped back down to the mid-card. I mean, he spent a long time away from titles. It's not like he's been constantly around main events, is it? If you think about Sheamus and his career, it's really odd. It's a really strange career. It's very like stop-start and, lots of different, him with Cesaro in the bar and then the whole Brawling Brute stuff and League of Nations. But then there's times where he is in main events and battling Daniel Bryan for like the World Heavyweight Championship. And yeah, I mean, it's been really strange. How they've kept him away from the Intercontinental, though, is probably the strangest part of it. Right, let's refresh and see if it's there. It is there. Yes. But I'm not watching it yet. I'm going to wait 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The little write-up, let me click on it so I can tell you what it says. The little write-up said Natalia and Kylie Armstrong arrive for their in-ring contract signing. The Vanity Project are going to battle Cruz del Toro, Whackin' Wild, and Lindsay Dorado. So it said this week, Kylie Armstrong, Natalia, Jackson Drake, Ricky Smokes, Brad Baylor, Cruz del Toro, Whackin' Wild, Lindsay Dorado, all on the show. 4 minutes and we will hit play. Let's go, Queens. Daze, I just tweeted you. Cena. What, just the word Cena? James, thank you. I appreciate that. It's a good reminder, to be honest. It's a good reminder. Right there, look. Oh, hang on. Cena at Wimbledon. That stare behind Tuchel. Oh, I've not seen any images or anything, so I will have to check that out. But I've only got a few minutes, and then I'm going to be evolving. Akeem, hello. Daze, Becky only needs the Women's US Championship, then she'll be a Grand Slam champ, said Taker 1990. AB Jobson said Cena sucks. Brother said, where's all my Shawn legacy stanza? I do need some sound effects. Like a air horn. That's not, it sounds like a duck, doesn't it, in distress, but it's meant to be an air horn. 4 minutes, everyone, said Thomas. To be. Hannah said, Days, we're only a month away from SummerSlam. If you was going to an event, what seats would you be going for? If in this situation, what day would you go to? Well, honestly, money obviously would be a factor. My answer would be that I would want to stream it, so I wouldn't be going. If I, for some reason, had to go, then ideally I'd want to go day 2, of course. I think it's not crazy to think that's going to be the bigger of the 2 days. And I'll probably just try and get the best seats, best view I could for kind of the money that I have at my disposable income, which is also known as my I'm saving for a house fund. So I don't know. I'd want to stream it. And then if I wasn't, I had to go, I'd really have to try and I don't want to be too far away where I can't see anything, but I don't want to be so close where I'm wiping out my savings. So I'm probably trying to find that sweet spot. I'm probably trying to find that sort of $200 mark, I suppose. I sort of feel like that's a lot for a ticket, but it is not the thousands that you would spend being on the floor, So I'm looking for that sweet spot. I was inches away from ruining my childhood when looking for Tubi. I went to an adult channel. Luckily, I switched before, said it's ads. It's ads. Shout out to you. I'm so pleased that you was able to very quickly avoid seeing boobs. Because you're right. Once you see things like that, you can't unsee them. And it does kind of ruin everything, so... It's ads. Shout out to you, my friends. Shout out for you. All the virgins in the house. Yeah. Woo. Hello, Wrestling Russ and Porky Pig said wrestling fan. Days. I'm here for the pre-show talk, said Jamie. Jamie, shout out to you, bud. It's quite a lengthy pre-show talk on this one. Right, here we go. We have just clicked over and I have started. Is it coming through my headphones? Yes, it is. Right, I've got the then, now, forever. It's going to say together in a minute. I'm saying it when he says it. Together. Bum, bum, bum. I did the bums at the same time as well. Right, 2 months ago, and we're seeing Vanity Project coming out. We're seeing 2 months ago. Right. We are seeing what happened when they competed for this Championship in a fatal 4-way. Last month, the Vanity Project run of Vanity Project are backing up Ethan Page as well on NXT. Lucha, lucha, lucha. You cats just don't know how to shut that big hole in your face. Look at that tracksuit he's wearing, wild. There's the LWO. I mean, fair play to them. They've got LWO and Natalia and everyone coming to Evolve. Right, tonight, 6-man tag match. Oh, God, yeah. This music, I love it. I'm a Jew like Ali. I need to find out what that song is. I need to learn the lyrics. I want to drop them rhymes, man. I'm a Jew like Ali. Yeah, look, I'm like that woman. There's a woman in the front row. She's like, yeah, she's rocking out. That's me. That is me. I'm like that old woman. She might not be old. I don't know. She looked old. She looked like she was 22 or something. Okay, they've just got a graphic on screen. There, we've got the contract signing, Kylie, Armstrong, and Natalia. Official tonight. Natty is passing on the craft. Oh, yeah. I like this vibe. Who's this boomer? He's jacked, isn't he? Jesus. He's got all the muscles. Yeah, his entrance music is a jam, isn't it? This guy is laid back. Jesus Christ. Mate. He's got the look, isn't he? How's he got that ripped? Wow. This, honestly, I mean, if you want to talk about just the airport test, if you want to talk about, like, grabbing your attention and being like, he's just got a natural size to him that is, like, really impressive. Here's Idris. Muscles from Brussels. Hello, where's my Evolve thing gone? There it is. You've seen him already, said Porky Pig. I must have been so impressed I forgot. I don't remember him, honestly, but very impressive. Where did the couch girl go, said Boomers? She, I believe her name is Summer Sorrell, and I believe she's on the new season of LFG, and I hate her. I'm not willing to let it go. I am so petty. I am not letting it go. In my mind, she is couch girl that wound me up week after week after week with her unprofessionalism. And I can give a flip if she stopped doing that now, and now she's like someone else. She will always be that person to me. So I officially do not like her. And no, I'm not willing to change my mind. He was victorious in his debut. Did you see Stack's new group? Tiger is someone looks like Roman. No, don't know who that is, Nathan. Picked up there by Jamar. Shot coming into the back there by Idris. That's what they call Daze muscles from Telford, but it's for the blind people. Yeah, it is true. I do tell them to call me muscles, and they just do it, to be honest. Oh, double axe handle there by Idris. Idris going against the ropes. What, mate? Did you see that leapfrog? Jesus! How did he get that high? Oh, mate. If I worked at WWE, I'd be like, oh my God, please be good at promos. If you're good at promos, then we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Please be good at promos. Drop kick. Clothesline there by Idris. Even if he's limited in the ring, it doesn't matter. So was the Warrior. Like, you know that look and presentation is so important. Yeah, pinfall there by Idris. But talking, really, you know, you got to talk people to convince them to watch your matches. I think promos are obviously really important. Couch Girl was bad at a job she had. Anywho, she was. What time does the full show come on YouTube? Said it's tomorrow. It sucks. Daze, that's Troy Yearwood. Oh, that's why. Oh, Mayor Pete, thank you. Yes, they changed his name. Oh my God, that's the guy that's broke all those records. Every time you see the Performance Center thing, it's like, right, that's Troy Yearwood. Yeah, his new name has not bedded into my mind. Oh my God. Well, this is the guy that just keeps breaking records at the Performance Center. Yes. This is the guy that I think you lot have told me was maybe on LFG and was not brilliant at promos. Oh, well, I mean, he looks incredible. If you're WWE, you're going to have all the patience in the world. I ain't giving up on this guy for years. I'm sending Shawn Michaels round his house to do flipping night classes. If we can get this guy to flipping get this and make progress, you're printing money. He's a money printing machine. That body drop there by did you see that leapfrog earlier in this match? Guys, I'm going to follow him online and I'm going to send him lovely messages and we're going to become friends. And when he becomes a big deal, that is going to be my ticket out of here. I'm going to become his best friend. 1, 2. Oh, 2 count. That could be something that they could roll with. Something like a Mr. Perfect thing, said Shaquem. Yeah, he was on LFG, says Mayor Pete. Troy Yearwood is his real name, and it's way better than Jamar Hampton, said Steve. Elbows coming in by Idris. Jamar goes down, powers his way back up. Idris, though, working on the eyes. Jamar, middle of the ring, trying to charge back over. Oh, collides into the corner as Idris moves out the way. Right now, big shots coming down by Idris. And again, he's looking to get Jamar. I actually really like this match now because, not because the action's amazing. Ooh, edge of the ring. No joy. Shot coming in there by Idris. But I think Idris is really interesting because he was in a tag team with Mallet Blades. Kind of came in. He's trying to reinvent himself. Bang. He brings the experience. Whereas, you know, you can see that Jamar does not have any. But Jamar's got just raw potential. Lovely net breaker by Idris. 1, 2. Oh, Idris puts Jamar Hampton away. So Idris actually getting the job done. Well, listen, it's an out-in for Jamar. I don't think there's a load there to get like crazy excited about, but you know, at this point, I suppose it's just about putting a few things together. I loved his leapfrog. That's probably the most impressive thing I saw, and I don't even think they're going to show the replay of it. Yes, lots of work to be done, but lots of potential. Netbreaker putting him away, and it was a victory for Idris Anofi. So Idris with his it's a good win for him against a strong opponent. Idris listening out to the boos. There's Stevie with Lindsay. The LWO. Okay, so LWO here to have a look at some of the young emerging talent and to back up Lindsay. I'm about to make... What the hell was that? I'm about to make Evolve... Lucha lit. Okay. Right, coming up, we've got Layla Diggs against Jin Tala. I still don't know why they don't sell that as a cocktail. Right. Commercial break. I've got Domino's stuffed crusts. Yes. Parmesan stuffed crust. Here's Gordon Ramsay. All new episodes. MasterChef. Dynamic duos. Fox Wednesday. Okay. Louder, tougher, hitting harder. A classic returns. The Great American Bash. Saturday, July 12th. Let's bash. Right, we've got Cappuccino Jones and Jack Cartwheel. Okay, what's this? Adrenaline Drip. Is that their tag team name? Adrenaline Drip. Are we going to introduce tag titles? Adrenaline Drip against Swipe. Adrenaline Drip. Adrenaline Drip. Adrenaline Drip. Oh, you know what's next? We want the tag. Oh, yeah, they're talking about it. Adrenaline Drip. I'm a big fan of Adrenaline Drip. Adrenaline Drip. Adrenaline Drip. You don't even need to... It's a name you can be very lazy with. Who do you like? I like Adrenaline Drip. Oop. Adrenaline Drip. Adrenaline Drip, yeah. Adrenaline Drip. Right, here's Layla Diggs. Layla Diggs. Yeah, I love that old woman. She's got a Layla Diggs sign. I'm going to marry that woman. There's Layla Diggs and Adrenaline Drip. I used to watch Ramsey when he had his original show, said Nathan. Cap and Jack are my faves, said Vic. Oh, are you a fan of Adrenaline Drip? It's too long a name, but good for them, said Mayor Pete. Maybe Gunther's SummerSlam opponent is not Punk. Something tells me it could be Logan. Wouldn't that be heel against heel, though? Here is Jin Tala. I don't know much about this girl at all. Oh, yeah, that's right. She got attacked backstage, didn't she? Why is her tights all ripped? What's that about? It's got to be part of the look, of course, but... Okay, Layla digs Jin Tala. I don't know much about either of these girls. Yeah, I like that from Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone said, this is what Evolve's about. It's about TV time. All eyes are on them, and they know that. This is their kind of opportunity to show the fans what they can do, who they are, build their brand. Coming up tonight, the contract signing, Kylie, Armstrong, and Natalia. Roll through there by Jin. Kip up there by Jin as well. Working on the arm of Layla. Layla, middle of the ring. Going over against the ropes. Layla flips over. Nice reversal. Good. Jin Tala goes into the corner. Big. That boot looked a bit weak. Going over. Rolling up Layla, but Layla rolls through. Nice. Love that. This competing in her first singles match since April. Jin against the ropes. Gets caught. Caught there by Layla. Planted. Layla. Standing moonsault. Layla's looking good here. I actually thought Jin Tala would be more impressive, but at the moment, Layla is the one that's catching the eye. Little caught on the ropes. Little caught on the ropes there by Layla. Working on the arm by Jin. Don't love that by Jin. She tried to work on the arm. This Jin Tala looks a little bit like that Jessie Camilla. Nice kick there by Jin. Over in the corner, shoulder first goes Layla. Vic said, I don't really care for the name either, but I like them individually and as a team. They had a great match on Reality Wrestling a while ago, said Vic. Who's that? Adrenaline Drip. Here we go. We got her working on the arm kick coming into the midsection. Oh. Down goes Layla. Jin again jumping straight on that arm, pulling it back. Sell, Layla. Sell. Do some selling, girl. Come on. Jin Tala has got a victory in her Evolve debut. Shots coming in. Boot to the midsection there by Jin. Down again goes Layla. Jin on the back, working on the arm. Let's get the result in of that first match. See what you lot thought about it. This match, not backbreaker. That looked quite good actually. It looked a bit botchy, but it looked good. Looked like it hurt. Good 97 for that first match. Good 97. That's a nice move, isn't it? Look at that. That's great. I really like that, where she's got the arms back. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I like that. That's a good move. That would be really good if that had actually put her away. She had the arms like stretched back and she was using her legs to like really control that move, and it looked really good. Is Jin Tala the girl that said she was going to try some like innovative submissions? I seem to remember someone on social media saying they were really going to try out some innovative submissions. I mean, that was. Oh, nice cartwheel into a spear. We've seen Layla do that before. It looked good that time. Nice kick. Down goes Jin. Rolls her over. 1, 2. Kick out there by Jin. Gets her shoulder up just. I don't know that I've ever seen that, said Wrestling Russ. I don't think I have either. Right now, we've got Jin up and she's kind of pulling back on the hair of Layla. She takes Layla down. Jin with a kick. Again. Okay, here we go. More innovation. What? She's got the win with that. What did he call that? The Bockenauer bun. That's nice. That's nice. I prefer the one earlier, honestly. I think if Jin is going to keep adding these submissions to her game, then she could become a very, very interesting wrestler that provide like a submission specialist, but not a submission specialist like Shayna Baszler. But a submission specialist that actually has lots of different submissions. It'd be great if she had loads of submissions where she could put one on in, like, if she's standing over against the rope, she's got some. If her opponent's face down, she's got some. If she's round the back of someone, she's got some. Like, she's always got lots of different submissions. Just keep adding them, and adding them. But there we go, Chewy having a word with Jin. Jin victorious. What was up with that hair pull? I'm just doing what LFG told me to do, and that is win. She's just collecting wins, baby. She's just collecting dubs. She's a dub collector. She's doing whatever it takes. Okay, we're backstage, and we have got... Oh, there we go. There's Zayda. There's the real deal. I don't know if her future's in with this group, you know, because she does not appear with them when they're on NXT. Hondos. Hondos! Tonight we show them that this is a young man's game. Tonight it's about vanity. I don't know what the hand gesture is, but they just all did that in the middle. Whipping out that adrenaline drip, said one chill bunny. Vanity Project looked like a bunch of male models. That's just like our community, Thomas, isn't it? That's just like if all of us met up. That's why we love them. Because we sympathise. The match was good, but not great, said Thomas. Chantel Monroe said Nightmare. They about to give Zayda that adrenaline drip. That's what the kids do these days. Is it, Johnny? They do a lot of that, do they? Well, I'm going to do that now then. When I go to bars and pubs, I'll be like, hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. Just so you know, I'm here and I'm young. Pint, please, barman. Like that. And I'll be like, oh, man, he is so cool. I'm like, yeah. Oh, I've gone to commercial break, look. Some man looking in a box. Oh, I know that woman. She appears on... I know this woman. I mean, not personally, but I've seen her on Last Week Tonight. Let's fix this oven. Let's go. She needs her phone back. What's the advert for? American Home Shields. We just need more space. Is that Reba McEntire? Reba McEntire, who sang at WrestleMania 8. With new listings every month. You better put a key ring on it. Make it real. Realtor.com with Reba McEntire. Guys, flipping Dodgers. Taking on the Astros. Yeah, that is her, said Akeem. Oh my God. Love that for us. Right, here is Stevie. Stevie looks great, by the way. These blooming married women. Right, here's Kylie. Contract signing. Contract signing. I want Kylie to take... You know what I want? I want her to take on... Natty. I want her to take on Natty. Yep. She's made her way into the ring. We're just waiting for Natalia now. Here we go. Here we go. Natalia coming out. She's not Natty. She is Natalia. Dun, 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 dun. Legend. Icon. Yeah, it is going to be a title match. Smile on her face as she gets into the ring. Let's go. Let's flip it and go. Love this. Right, I hope they let her become Natty at some point. Same buds. You defend your championship for the first time. Future Hall of Famer. The Boat. Surely Natalia wins this. Natalia should win this. Yeah. This is going to be a tricky one because surely Natty wins. She should win. She should beat an Evolve talent. First off, Kylie. Here we go. You're amazing. Yeah. It's true. She has. We've been watching. You've been nothing but rude to me. Callie's comfortable here. This moment is not bigger than her. Your name will probably be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think so. You've won championships on Raw and on SmackDown, but this is Evolve? You're selfish. You don't know what it's like to carry a division for 18 years. It doesn't need a selfish, spoiled brat. Kylie is so comfortable. She's not missing her marks. She's holding her own. She's nice and clear. Someone going through the table. We've gone round the front of the table. She goes for a shot. Takedown there by Natalia. Natalia looking to apply the sharpshooter, and it's in. Ooh, sharpshooter's in, and Kylie is tapping. Kylie in pain. So no one went through the table, but a sharpshooter applied. Natalia going over, grabbing that championship. Stands over Kylie and holds up that championship. Did they even sign the contract? I don't know if they signed the contract. Natalia looking at that championship. Well, there we go. Right, Sean Legacy. Sean, Timothy Thatcher. You deserve to hear the truth. Sean wants to be Evolve champ. You can be a champ. Deal with Keanu next week. So what, that Keanu versus Timothy Thatcher, is it? Okay. Keanu Carver, Timothy Thatcher next week. I thought Sean was quite good in that little backstage segment. So always nice to see Sean Legacy. But coming up next, the 6-man tag match. Vanity Project taking on LWO with Lindsay Dorado. Natalia should be able to win this, but is she there to help get Kylie over further? Not sure what they do. Perhaps the match brings the natty out of her. Yeah, I agree. It's a difficult one because surely Natty has to win. Like, in a match against her. If she can't beat an Evolve Championship level person, how is she meant to compete against Raw and SmackDown stars? So I sort of think, like, I don't expect her to win, so that means Kylie's got to cheat, or someone's going to get involved, or there's going to be shenanigans of some description. And maybe that frustration brings out, as you said, the natty character. Okay, here's Keanu Carver working out. Sending a message to Timothy Thatcher. Okay, Chantel. Jeez. We are not messing around, are we, Chantel? I don't call myself the reflection of perfection for nothing. What you see is what you get. Wow. Eyes up, boys, said Noctivix. Sure. Callie Armstrong, Natalia, next week. That'll be so good. Women's Championship match. Next week, Callie against Natalia. unmissable. Unmissable. I think I'm seeing a lot, said Johnny. Same here, buds. Same here. And there's people out there that are like, why do you watch Evolve? Idiot. Watch this episode and tell me why I should stop. Here's the Vanity Project. Hondos! Dun, dun, dun. Yes. Man United fan, 3 letters, 1 word. Sui said 1 chilled bunny. Mickey James just smashed her TV, said Nightmare. Robbie, hello. The reflection of perfection was Mark Jindrak. Well, he's looking amazing in 2025. I'm a big fan of his presentation in 2025. Right, here we go then. We are about to get underway with, I'm guessing this is our main event. I'm guessing. 6-man. Lucha, 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 lucha. Yes. Oh my God, we're going to do some We're doing some lucha things. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, here is Lindsay. Look at the old woman again. She flipping loves it. Lucha, lucha, lucha. I so want to be in this crowd. Ba-da-ba-dum. How do you get to be in an Evolve taping? I want to know. Viva la raza! Evolution should be Mickey James versus Michelle McCall. LFG contract on a pole match, said Steve. Nightmare said that match was fun. Right. LWO backing up Lindsay. Do you know, I probably know more about Evolve talent than I do Cruz del Toro. I don't know anything about Cruz del Toro. I don't even know if I could pick him out of a lineup. One fall. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that LWO are on Evolve, said Wrestling Russ? Well, I don't think it's a bad thing that anyone's on Evolve. I don't think it's a bad thing Natalia's on, or you know, I don't look at it as like a demotion. I just sort of feel like they haven't got anything for them at the moment on the main roster. So in that regard, it's a bad thing. But, you know, as a regular viewer of Evolve, I appreciate the fact we've got some name value here. It's actually a really good opportunity for LWO to show us what the flip they can do. For them to actually get some TV time. Okay, we've got, who's going to start us off? Ricky. Lindsay and Ricky. Let's have a look. Let's see how good this match is going to be then. Better sounded. Did anyone notice that Daze just skips my comments? Said Willie. I did notice this. I actually told Daze not to bother because my acknowledgements should go to others who are the real pillars of this community. Everyone that types in the chat. And that was William. And he did say that, and I was meant to not read that. Botched it. Right now we got Ricky going over, grabbing Lindsay. Lindsay up, lands on his feet, of course. Kick coming in there. And again, back against the ropes. Over goes Ricky. Roll through there by Lindsay. Arm drag. Round the back, slap at the back of the head there. Lindsay Dorado, wow, what a fact. Amazing. Former WWE 24/7 champion, just like everyone else in the company. Who didn't win that flipping belt? A former 24/7 champion. Wow. Massive. Massive. I think the Gobbledygooker is a former 24/7 champion. I think Byron Saxton is a former 24/7 champion. Great fact. Love that fact. Right, in comes Wilds. Let's see what Wilds can do as Brad Baylor gets in. Take over there by Wilds. Wild getting back up to his feet. Shot coming into the midsection. Grabs Wilds again as they go back against the ropes. Do you know, there's not even a VIP section now. They just completely got rid of it. I feel a little bit responsible for that because we were really down on it. And now it's completely gone. I feel like there could be a little section where they do like a talking section with like a backdrop and whatever. I'm not down that they got rid of the VIP set. I'm certainly not down they got rid of Couch Girl. It's her fault it's gone, actually. But I do feel like there could be a little something, a little interview area or something. Okay, we're going to commercial break. There we are on top of Allegiant Stadium. Why are they on the roof of it? I had a dream. I had a vision. It was the most successful WrestleMania, so we're running it back. Mainly because they gave us a load of money. But that logo is great. I flipping love that logo. Honestly, other than the first WrestleMania logo, which is just iconic, that might be my favorite. I really love it. Oh, I love this woman. Yikes. Leaky refrigerator coil. Death! American Home Shields. Let's go. American Home Shields. The best of all the shields. LFG shouldn't run season after season right away, said Wrestling Russ. Several members of this community have been 24/7 champs, said Steve. San Quinn said, do we think Charlotte and Alexa will make a good team? Yeah. Can't see why not. I think they will, as long as they can get on the same page. Daze is living a curse. His Mama Daze, is actually Rapunzel. Daze is their kids. He is alone in the tower dungeon, growing his beard long enough for his star-crossed lover to climb up and save him. Oh my God. What an amazing film that would be. You lot have the 1% Club, do you? We have that show. You probably did it first. We probably got it from you. We've got 1% Club over here. Right, here we go. Brad Baylor's in there with Wild. Double axe handle. Williams like, yeah. Shot coming in. 3 layers of mousse, almost 6 pounds of bananas, and 2 boxes of cookies later... 111 times 19 times 3 pan of pudding done, said Jennifer. Huh? Mousse, bananas, cookie. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Oh. Let's go. Brother said there's something about Brad Baylor stands out to me. He's in there with Wild right now. Yes, 6M tag. That's what we're enjoying. I ain't changing it. I'm standing my ground. Right now, going for a cover. 1, 2. Jackson Drake going for the pin. No joy. Thomas likes the sound of that. Oh my god, imagine if we did a community party and we all brought little bits. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Jennifer could bring a banana cake. I can bring my sparkling personality. James can bring the bad language. And William can bring the restraining orders. We do need someone to bring drinks, though. Right now, double axe handle. Daze, are we not live on Friday? Sadly not, but sadly not. Don't blame me. Blame Oasis. Blame my brother. So, no, sadly not. I know. It was one of those where my brother had the opportunity to get some tickets for Oasis. He had no choice on the day of what day to have, and listen, I know. I'll bring drinks, said Who Review. Yeah! I'll bring the red solo cup, said Thomas. Yeah! Akeem said, I blame Oasis for a lot of things. Yes. Mayor Pete said, Friday's a tape show, so it's not as bad. Well, I'm still a failure, and I'm still letting people down. And we should never forget that. Jennifer said, potluck tonight at work. We're eating at 1 a.m. when the computer goes down. James said, how dare you go and have a good time? Oh, it won't be a good time. I'm fairly confident that I'll be uncomfortable and the music will be too loud and it'll probably be raining and I'm like 3 hours from home and I'll probably be tired and yeah, I won't be having fun. Rest assured, there will be no end. I won't have any fun. Chop coming in there by Lindsay. I only found out today as well that by the time we get there, we're not going to have time for food. So my brother genuinely said to me, it was like, bring a packed lunch. I was like, what? Bring a packed lunch? The hell are you on about? This isn't nursery. Lindsay going over the top, lands on Jackson Drake. Jackson Drake goes down. Shaquem, shout out to you, my friends. Wear ear protectors. I might. Akeem, I might. I was thinking of going and wearing a Blur shirt. Because they don't get on. The two bands don't like each other. It's like going to a WWE show with an AEW shirt. But I thought, I can't be bothered with all the comments. Jackson going for the cover on Lindsay, but I don't believe he's the legal man. The referee is like, you're not the legal man. And Jackson's like, how dare you? Boom! Crossbody. Cruz del Toro. Wear a Man United shirt, said one chilled bunny. Oh, yeah, they don't like Man United either, do they? That's a good point. Oh, planted. Arriba! Someone yelled. Jackson Drake getting rolled up and again. Oh, I'm not a fan of that spot. All right, Alexa does that spot. Two count. I don't even think the crowd liked that spot. Bang on the top rope. Tag being made. In comes Brad. Brad being picked up. Drop kick. Boom! Down he goes. Tag being made. Jackson Drake up top. Hondos! Ah! They should call that their finishing move. 1, 2. Ah! Is that their fin? Oh, man. What's the swipe right finishing move? It should be called Hondos. Chop coming in there by Wild. Duck underneath. Crazy chop there by Ricky. Super kick. Against the ropes, goes wild. Big knee. Ricky smokes. Bang. Ricky smokes against Ricky Saints. Let's go. Dream match. Brad Baylor. Back elbow. Looking to pick up Wild. Got him up. Oh my God. That was nasty. That net breaker. Chop coming in there by Del Toro. Oh, look at that. Goes up. Oh, my God. Cruz Del Toro all kind of fired up. It's the most I've ever seen him do. He's on the shoulders. Gutbuster. Double knees. Jackson Drake charging over the champ. No joy. Top rope. Yeah, Pete Rosenberg said if Vanity Project win this, we'll never hear the end of it. Roll through. Tag being made. In comes Lindsay. Roll there by Lindsay. Shot coming in. With a slap climbing up. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Whoa! Hurricanrana! That was a big spot. He just did like a Hurricanrana to Jackson Drake on top of swipe right. Jeez, crazy. LWO against the ropes. Through the ropes. Here's Lindsay. Lindsay is perched. Boom! Connects. 1, 2, 3. LWO win. Oh. Well, I suppose they should win, but there was some good stuff there in that match. I don't think it was like a mind-blowing match, but there was some good spots in it. That's a good point, actually. Does that make Lindsay the #1 contender? It probably does, doesn't it? God, these Evolve champions have got some real challenges. Kylie Armstrong's having to defend against flipping Natalia. I mean, if you're Kylie Armstrong and, you're battling to try and get to NXT, it probably is a little bit unfair that your first challenge is Natalia. And then now we've just had the Evolve champ get pinned by Lindsay Dorado. And that probably does mean that his first challenge is going to be Lindsay. Lucha. Lindsay was pointing at Vanity Project and Brad Baylor was like, me? You're pointing at me? Yeah, he's pointing at you. Hondos, mate. Hondos. Well, there we go. That was Evolve. It was all right. It was all right. I don't think it was the greatest episode, but I enjoyed watching that Jamar Hampton. And I actually thought Jin Tala with some of her submissions was very interesting. It's never a chore watching Vanity Project. They're obviously a massive deal. I didn't think the match was really that mind-blowing, but it had some nice moments. And yeah, contract signing was okay. I actually thought Kylie did really well in the contract signing. But really, next week, Kylie against Natalia next week. Championship match next week. So that should be fun. You need to catch up with LFG Boomer, said Mayor Pete. I do. You're right. Daze, you're doing a lot of talking. SmackDown, Raw, NXT, Evolve, PLEs, said Sonique. Yeah, we're all over it, mate. We flipping love it. I'm really interested in watching that Unreal show as well. And seeing what kind of goes down with that. So, yeah, lots of wrestling. It's very busy at the moment, non-stop. Wouldn't want it any other way. I wasn't that impressed with Bailey Humphries' match on LFG, says William. Oh, really? Nathan said, I'm giving it a 7. If Lindsay is number 1 contender, then Sean Legacy is the number 0 contender, and 0 comes before 1. There's enough Sean Legacy to go around for everyone, says brother. Big Time said LFG may be on its last legs. It did 64,000 views on A&E last Sunday. NXT has tried to really promote the audience to 600,000, but the appetite isn't there. Wow, really? It only did 64,000 viewers. Only 64,000 people in America watched LFG. Really? Wow. That is a shame. That is a shame. I think LFG serves a real purpose. Although, if you get rid of LFG, does that actually help Evolve? Because that talent then would be in Evolve. And, you know, do you have to do a bit more with Evolve? And I don't know. I mean, does it help or does it hinder? I don't know. I don't know. I don't like the fact LFG struggled. I've not watched it, but I'm on board with it as a concept. I'm disappointed at that news. It's made me sad. Sleazeboy, shout out to you, my friends. Really appreciate the support and appreciate you joining us, buds. Sleazeboy with an interesting question said you're invited to a few weddings at a WWE ring and you've got to pick one out of the following. Okay. So you could go to Edge and Lita, or Vicky, Lana, Bobby, Al Wilson and Dawn Marie, or Billy and Chuck. So what, you can go to any of those weddings. Which one would you choose? Well, Billy and Chuck one was shut down at the wedding, wasn't it? I mean, most of these get shut down at the wedding, to be honest. So, I mean, you're not really going to get much further than the actual wedding, are you? To be honest, what do you actually want from it? What are you hoping? If you're invited to it, what are you actually hoping to get? I mean, to be honest, if I've got to go to a wedding, if I've got to leave the streams and go to a wedding, I'm probably hoping there's some cute bridesmaids. That's probably what I'm hoping. So I don't know that I'm going to get that at Billy and Chuck. I don't know that I'm getting that at Al Wilson, Dawn Marie. I don't really think there was much for Lana and Bobby. I mean, I remember Liv coming down and Rusev popping out of a cake, but I don't remember much. To be honest, a lot of these haven't got much additional elements, have they? The one that I would want to choose, Sleazeboy, if I could, would be Macho Miss Elizabeth. Because they actually completed their ceremony and we even got to see the reception after. Now, yes, Undertaker, Jake Roberts do interrupt it and there is a snake in one of the presents. That's obviously a negative. But that is also Macho Man's problem. Whilst that's going on, can be trying to hit on the bridesmaids. So if that was an option, that's the direction I would wanna go, to be honest. But if I have to choose one of these, there's not really any that are jumping out. I might have to just go like Edge Lita, probably because it's the sexiest. Although Lana Bobby's pretty sexy, but you know, I don't think I'm going to meet many people, to be honest. So I'd want to choose Macho if I had to, just because what am I trying to get out of it? Yeah, trying to hit on people. That's what I'm trying to do. So Sleazeboy, there's an answer in there. I really did give it some thought. I tried to give it as much thought as I possibly could. Daze, have you ever seen Wedding Crashers? That might be the GOAT 2000s comedy. I don't know that I've seen it from start to finish, but I've definitely seen bits with like Owen Wilson and whatever. Do you know the film I love? And I think we've spoke about it before. Sleazeboy said Dawn Marie stripped down to her lingerie at her wedding. Yeah, but I mean, what can you do if you're there? Do you know what I mean? What can you do? I don't know that that's gonna make me want to say that I wish I was at that one. You know, I mean, I can watch that on TV. I think what I'm looking for is to hit on the bridesmaids. I'm really kind of more fixated on that, to be honest. Yeah, no, Wrestle Andy. Do you know, flipping role models? Role models, I think, is from the 2000s. Might have been early 2010s, but it might have been like 08, 09, I'm not sure. I think that's underrated and absolutely hilarious as a film. I love that film. So, I see your Wedding Crashers, but I raise you a role models. I wonder what the girls are going to wear at the 2026 Royal Rumble. I don't know, but I'm quite excited to find out. I know that some view it as a bit of a negative, but I agree. There was a comment during our watch-along for Night of Champions where some were saying, like, I really like this because it means that, like, the women have to get a bit more creative with their attire. And I think there's a couple of ways of looking at that. You could say, like, well, they shouldn't have to. Or you can look at it and say, well, you know, it's a different culture and we should respect that. But, you know, however you feel about that aspect, they do need to cover up. They do need to wear something different. And I'm quite excited to find out what it is they wear, to be honest, and how they look. I think you can go safe and just wear like a black bodysuit. Or you can actually get a bit more adventurous and, you know, do like Rhea Ripley and, like, you know, wear something that makes you look like Sackboy. So, I'm quite interested to see what they're going to wear. I'm going to take that actually as a positive more than a negative. I'm going to, like, you know, something a bit different, something to look forward to. Mayor Pete said, I saw Dawn Marie at WrestleCon. I wouldn't kick her out of bed. And she's an old boomer. I wouldn't kick any old boomer out of bed, to be honest. Sleazeboy said, I feel that TKO is in debt and they're trying to get as much money as possible. I don't think they're in debt. I mean, like, revenue is brilliant for both UFC and WWE. They're obviously down because they had to buy WWE, so there was a big expenditure. And yes, they are trying to make money back, but it's not a problem. It's not like they're, like, you know, about to go bankrupt or something like this. Like, they've got a lot of money available, cash. I mean, UFC is very profitable for them. WWE has been very profitable. Both companies are doing really, really well. So, unfortunately, I think, yes, they are trying to make back the money they spent on buying WWE in the first place, but I don't think there's, like, an urgency there. I don't think there's a, oh my God, we need to get this done by this date, otherwise we're going bankrupt or something. And so the problem is that I think this is just them trying to really just make as much money as they can. And even when they make the money back that they spent on buying WWE, they're not going to ease up. You know, this is just where we are. Sponsorships and ticket prices. It's never going to go back to being any better than it is now. When, you know, there is no reverse on this. This is, if anything, it'll just keep getting worse. TKO are in the business of making money, says Thomas. It is true. Robbie, shout out to you. Said, I first discovered this channel the night that CM Punk returns. Yeah, that was a shock, man. That was a real shock. I love being here, and I rarely miss a show. And I love Unseen too, said Robbie. Well, Robbie, thank you, my friend. Yeah, I do apologise for Unseen. There is no conspiracy. There is nothing going on that's weird or anything. I mean, I don't know if I spoke on this stream or on the member stream, but I kind of explained what my issues have been, and they're really weird issues. Like, I say them out loud and it just sounds like excuses, but genuinely, on, like, Friday, I really struggled to do it because there was 2 SmackDown streams. So it meant, like, there was, loads of stuff that I needed to catch up with. So, you know, and also the next day I was starting early for Night of Champions. So I was like, look, we'll do it after Night of Champions. So I sort of wrote that one off. And then with Night of Champions, because I'd done 2 SmackDown streams and then quite a long Night of Champions stream, I flipping lost my voice. If you look at the Night of Champions review, you can see that, like, my voice is, like, weak and struggling. And I was like, this is not the right time to do an Unseen. It's Sunday tomorrow. I'll do it then. So I sort of was like, I'll wait for my voice to come back. I've got all day Sunday. Great. And then Sunday came along and there was no news. Nothing happened. All the news from Saturday was out of date. All the other channels, everyone had already covered it. And on Sunday, because the wrestlers were travelling back, there was no news. So I was like, I was ready to do it. And there was not really anything to talk about. So I was like, oh, well, flipping, I have to do it Monday. And, you know, it's just been going like that. It's just, that's how it's been going. I mean, honestly, in my mind now, I'm thinking I could end the stream now and go and work on Unseen. I mean, I really could do that. I don't know what news there is that's out there. The problem I've got is that I'm not around on Friday. So if I actually bring Unseen back tonight and tomorrow, it's going to not be around on Friday because I'm at Oasis. So it's like, I don't know whether I should just wait for Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Bring it back Saturday and then it's uninterrupted. I have nothing else planned. There is no gigs. There are no streams being missed. There's no holidays that are popping up. There is nothing else planned. As soon as I get past Oasis on Friday, straight through. You know what I mean? Like, there's no interruption. We're back to where we were before June. Like, so, yeah, it's been a bit bumpy. And I've just had real problems trying to bring Unseen back. It's not that I don't want to do it or that I don't enjoy it. I enjoy it. I need to do it. The channel needs it. I need it for my knowledge of, like, knowing what's happening. So, yeah, I need to get it. I need to bring it back. I need to get it going. But there's just been barriers. That's all. So it'll be coming back. Don't worry. It's on the way. Not JPEG said, what are the thoughts on Mariah May, Blake Monroe's run? Not really anything to judge, honestly. I mean, she did a contract signing and got put through a table. Then I think, was it yesterday, she kind of came running down, and then they've booked her in a tag match. I mean, she's been in for 3-4 weeks. So, I mean, what is there to judge? If it's a gun to the head and you want to be like, you know, what's the criticisms or something, I would be like, I don't really understand why her character is so heavily based on Sabrina Carpenter. Maybe that's not obvious if you haven't seen the stuff on X, but, you know, the video packages that she does are identical to ones in Sabrina's tour. The graphic, the little animated character that she's got, I believe Sabrina's got one of those. There was even a line she said at the contract signing, like, have you ever tried this one? Which, as I said in the NXT stream, is something Sabrina says during one of her songs in a tour. It's like everything just seems to be Sabrina Carpenter. So, I mean, it's one thing to be inspired and to take a little bit of inspiration, but Sabrina could probably sue, to be honest, and she'd have a good case. So, I mean, that I'm a bit like, I don't know why we're doing that. I don't know why it's so heavily taken from Sabrina Carpenter. I'm not a big fan of the first match being a tag match. Sort of wish there was something a bit better than that. But really, other than that, there's not much else I can comment about because she hasn't been in that long. I don't really care about the Blake Monroe name. I know people don't like it. I know people prefer Mariah May. I get it. I know people don't like name changes. No one ever likes name changes. People were upset when Ricky Starks became Ricky Saints. People were upset when Volta became Gunther. Like, you know, if you change someone's name, it never seems to really be well received at first. And we're seeing the exact same thing here with Mariah May to Blake Monroe. But I just think Blake Monroe is okay as a name. I don't hate it. It's fine. If her name was Blake Monroe in AEW and she came in as Blake Monroe, like, that's fine. Do I prefer Mariah May? Yeah, probably, as a name. I probably prefer it, but it's nothing drastic. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing like, oh my God, you've ruined her. So, yeah, it's fine. Rest with Andy said, Daze, that woman that runs the kids' school from Role Models is brilliant. Oh, yeah, you've seen it. Yeah, I love that film. I've only seen, I love that film so much that we actually went to the cinema to see it twice. I have only ever done that with, I think, 2 films. I've only ever done that with 2 films. I did it with that film. We saw it in the cinema, me and my partner at the time. Loved it. We loved it so much, and we were quoting it and talking about it so much. We were like, should we just go and see it again? And we actually went to the cinema like a couple of days later to go and watch it again. And we loved it the second time, right? But we were done then, right? The only other time I did that was actually in Florida, believe it or not. So we were in Florida. When I went to Florida for I went to Florida in the 2000s a few times. And I went with mates from work. And, it was so much fun. We didn't have much money. I remember paying for the holiday, and then I probably for 2 weeks had about £1,000 spending money. It's about £500 a week. And the thing with that is you've got to remember that is your food, it's your drinks, it's whatever you need, right? If you go to a park and you go into a park, to be honest, I think any park tickets we'd bought in advance. So we already had a few trips to parks lined up. But it wasn't much money, honestly. Sounds like a lot, but it wasn't much if you think you've got to try and get through buying food from restaurants and buying lunch and buying drinks and all that sort of stuff. And going to parks and paying the inflated prices. It was enough, but you couldn't really go crazy, do you know what I mean? So anyway, cut a long story short, I went to Florida a few times, and one of the things we decided to do one night was go to the cinema, and it was quite exciting actually, because if you're in a different country, everything is an experience, isn't it? So, if you go to a Walmart, that's an experience. You're like, oh my God, look at the layout. Look at this. Oh my God, look at all these clothes they sell. Look, they sell candles with Jesus on. Look, they sell guns. Do you know what I mean? You in America might go to a Walmart and just not even think twice about it. But if you're a tourist and you go to a Walmart, everything's interesting. Yeah, everything's interesting. You'll probably got 50 flavors of Pop-Tarts or something, and all this kind of stuff. You'll have food that we don't have. You'll have obviously a toy section, which I was interested in for the figures, and blah blah blah. So going to a cinema in America was oh yeah, that'll be good. Actually see what it's like going to the cinema in America. And spoiler, it's exactly the same as going in the UK, right? It's no different. It's a dark room with a load of chairs, and it's absolutely the same. But when you go, you're like, yeah, let's do it. So we went and we saw Rambo. Now I don't know when the Rambo film came out, but that would tell you when I was there. Rambo. I think it was just called Rambo. It wasn't the first Rambo. It was like Rambo 6, but it wasn't called Rambo 6. It was literally just called Rambo. I want to say 05, 06, 07. It's going to be around that time, yeah. And so we went, and I enjoyed the film. My mates loved it. Loved the film. Really enjoyed it. It was just, it is a decent film, to be honest. Considering it's a sequel and it's really late in the series, it is a very easy watch. It was fun. It was good. It was one of those where I had a good time. And I have no idea why, but my mates really enjoyed it, to the point where they're like, oh, should we go see it again? Should we go see it again? And I don't know if you want to. I mean, I enjoyed it. I would not need to watch it again, but my mates really enjoyed it, and they're like, "Should we go see it again?" Yeah, okay, fine. So we went and watched it again, and it was fine. It was good. So yeah, that and flipping Role Models, I think, are the only two films I've ever been to a cinema to see more than once. I've never seen any other film. I'm really not a cinema person. I'm not really a film person, to be honest. So for me to go twice to watch a film in a cinema is quite a big deal. I was looking to see if anyone else had multiple cinema visit stories. That's what I was looking for. Daze, my retweets, can I get it out there? I want to get Cody to try and see it. It's something I've done of him. It took me ages, says Edwards. Well, I'll have a look. Yes, I'll try. If I get there, I'll retweet it. Daze, do we think the championships have been diluted? Every week there's a title change. They don't feel special anymore. So many dual title reigns. Everyone's got a belt now. Well, I'm not really down on the amount of belts. I think belts are fine as long as they've all got a purpose. So, do we need 2 women's world champions? I would say, yeah, probably just about. We definitely need 2 men's. So I think having 2 women's, we've had 2 women's for a long time when it was SmackDown and Raw. So I don't think people would be down on the fact we got 4 world champions, 2 men, 2 women. I think that's okay. I don't think people would be down on having mid-card belts for the guys, Intercontinental US title. I think they're acceptable. Then obviously WWE have introduced them for the women. Are people down on that? I really like the women's Intercontinental. I don't know if we need a women's US title as well, but it keeps it the same as the guys. The guys have got that, the women have got that. Then you've got 1 set of women's tag titles. I'm absolutely fine with that. I don't think we need 2 men's sets of tag titles. I would definitely lose one of those. So, yeah, you could cut them. And, I don't know, maybe you could cut a mid-card belt, maybe. I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? I sort of feel like I'm not really down on these belts. I don't feel like that's too much. I sort of feel like it's okay. I wouldn't want to add to it. I don't feel like we need 2 sets of women's tag titles. I don't even feel like we need 2 sets of men's. So I would definitely lose. If I had to lose a belt, it'd be a set of tag titles, men's tag titles. Then if I had to lose another belt, it would probably be a women's mid-card. Then it would be a men's mid-card. Then, yeah, I think 2 world titles is fine. Like, I feel like you probably do need 2 world champions. And the way I look at the men's is that one is below the other. If you've got the World Heavyweight Championship, you're not the WWE champion. But, having one on SmackDown and one on Raw, I think that's fine. 2, EO being champ, Tiffany being champ, I think that's fine. So, I don't know. If it is a problem, I don't think it's a problem by much. But, I don't know. Perhaps I'm in the minority. Do we think the hardcore title will come back, said one chill bunny. I don't think so. They tried it with the 24/7 belt, didn't they? And that was like a comedy thing, but I think it's hard after a while because, I mean, there's only so much you can do with a hardcore belt and the fact that it changes at any time. And I think that it's kind of good in the sense of it can use social media and you can do lots of interesting stuff with it. And they did loads of stuff with the 24/7. I mean, it changed hands on a plane, changed hands on a runway, changed hands on a golf course, changed hands on the kickoff show. Like, they tried loads of different things with it. Loads of people won it, like TV hosts won it, flipping Gobbledygooker got it, commentators got it, celebrities got it. It was Backstage being defended, and I just sort of feel like at some point you run out of ideas that are fresh and new that you can do with it. So, I don't know. I think it's one of those where it can come back and have a little run, and then it'll probably go away again. It'll probably be something like that. I don't know that it'll ever come back and just stay, because I think, honestly, it's one of those belts where you can really quickly burn through what you can do with it. Sonique said it could be argued that it is too soon to include MJF anywhere near a list of greats, with him being so young and new to wrestling. Yeah, I think he might be on the list of AEW greats, but I don't think he's on any list of wrestling greats. Big Time said, Daze, is Io's women's world title lower than Tiffany's? I think they're the same. Yeah, no, I think they're the same. I think the reason for it is because, and I know the point you're making, it looks the same as Gunther's, but if you think that there was 2 women's titles, which was one was Raw, one was SmackDown, and they were equal and even, those belts just changed their look so that they better sync up with the men's, right? I think because of that, because of how those belts came to be, I don't think there's any difference between them. In my mind, they're just the evolved versions of the Raw and the SmackDown women's belts. So there's no difference between them. In regards to the men's, one is the WWE Championship that goes back to the 60s. The other was created out of thin air in 2022, was it? 2023? I think it was a few years ago. So there's a massive difference between those. Massive difference. I mean, it's just couldn't be a bigger difference if it tried. So for me, there's a big difference between the belt John's got and the belt Gunther's got. Big difference. I don't feel that way about the belt that Io's got and Tiffany's got, no. And just because they look like other belts, like it doesn't make a difference. To me, they were the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, and we've just changed the name and the belt design, but they're still those 2 titles which were even. Whereas compared to the guys, there feels like there's a difference there. So I know it probably shouldn't feel that way. WWE don't want it to feel that way. I think WWE want it to feel like Gunther is equal to John. I think what I would say is, right, when it comes to Evolution, could you see Io main event in that show and close in that show against Rhea? You could. I'm guessing you could. Equally, could you see Tiffany close in that show if she faces a big name, right? I think you could. If Tiffany faces a big name at Evolution, could that close the show? I think the answer is yes. If Io takes on Rhea, could that close the show? I think the answer is yes. Now, let's play the same game with WrestleMania. What's going to close the show at WrestleMania? Is it going to be the WWE Championship or is it going to be the World Heavyweight Championship? It's going to be the WWE Championship. Like, I know they want it to feel the same, but it's not, and it doesn't feel the same. That WWE Championship is just, it keeps getting prioritized. It's on the bigger names, and without a doubt, the WWE Championship, whoever has got it, whatever the match is going to be, is going to main event night 2 next year at WrestleMania. I know that already. It's going to close the show. And the World Heavyweight Championship might close night 1. Equally, it might open night 2. So, for me, the differences are quite apparent. That the women's is kind of in sync, whereas the men's, there's a pretty big difference. Not JPEG said, do we think that Kane approved of John's heel turn? I don't know. I don't know how Kane felt about it. Has anyone asked him? Has he been questioned? I've seen The Dark Knight twice in the cinema. Oh, well, that's a good one. That's a good one. I could understand that. That's one of the greatest films of all time. I could totally understand walking out the cinema and that going, oh my God, I need to see that again, man. And that kind of film as well on a big screen. I think, to be honest, I think that's why we went and saw Rambo again. because I think that was the exact point they were making, is that this is a film made for the big screen. Like, we need to see this film on the big screen. I can't really say that for role models. I don't think it really makes a difference, but we loved it so much we went back again. Whenever The Rock makes a return to WWE, and when he stands in the middle of the ring soaking in the atmosphere, fans know the first words out of his mouth by his posture, said Sonique. Do we think WWE made the right move unifying the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship? I think. Well, didn't they unify them in 2013? At the end of 2013, Daniel holds them up in 2014, doesn't he? I think it was good for Daniel. I think there was probably a need for two champs, to be honest. I sort of feel like a bit like now, where even back then the WWE Championship was the bigger title. World Heavyweight Champion was a secondary title, but it was still a world title. And I sort of feel like there's a lot of people, like exactly like now. You know, back then, like Jack Swagger won it. Yeah. And Mark Henry won it. There's people that won that World Heavyweight Championship that I don't think would win the WWE Championship. And just like now, Damian Priest won the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think he wins a WWE Championship. I don't know that he ever wins a WWE Championship, but he won the World Heavyweight Championship. And, you know, Gunther, I think, is someone that's still being built. I think Gunther could get the WWE Championship, but the World Heavyweight Championship was a stepping stone for him. If Bron Breakker is going to get a top title, world title, it will be the World Heavyweight Championship first. I sort of feel like it's a stepping stone, and I don't know if all fans look at it that way, but I look at it that way. For me, the natural progression in wrestling is Intercontinental Championship, then you go to the World Heavyweight Championship, then you go to the WWE Championship. And I think that's a very clear pathway. You could go United States, World Heavyweight, WWE. You could do that as well. But I like Intercontinental, going into World Heavyweight, going into WWE. Like, that to me is progression. That to me is the ladder. And I'm totally fine with that. And I'm fine with the World Heavyweight being a world title. And I'm fine with people winning that, and sort of it's exactly the same as WrestleMania Night 1 and WrestleMania Night 2. Like, if you main event Night 1, you've main evented WrestleMania. You've done it. Well done. But you will still have people saying that it's not the very top of the mountain. You've got to the summit, but there is still a little peak that you could climb to get to the very top. So, you know, if you main event Night 1, you've main evented WrestleMania. But there's always Night 2, which is obviously bigger. It's obviously bigger. It's obviously the bigger deal. But you've still achieved main event in WrestleMania. You can be introduced as a WrestleMania main eventer at talks and conventions and things like that, because you've done that, right? But there is a bigger main event. We all secretly know there is a bigger main event, yeah? And I think with the World Heavyweight Championship, I think it's fine for that to be a World Heavyweight Championship. And if you've won that, you're a World Heavyweight Champion. If Sami wins the World Heavyweight Championship, he's done it. He can be introduced as a world champion. Jey Uso is a former world champion. But we all know there's a bigger level. We all know there's another level. We all know there's another ledge, a little bit higher up that he could have achieved. And that was being WWE champion. That's how I feel about it. So, yeah, I think even back in 2014, 2013, they could have kept that belt as a progression. I don't think it needed to be unified. I don't really think that putting both belts onto the same person. I think it was good for Daniel because he got to hold up both belts. And I think visually that looked very good. But No, I kind of like them separated, honestly. And I like this arrangement as well. A lot of people will say 2 champs means that, you don't really know who the outright champ is. But I'm like, no, you do. You do. I know. It's whoever's got the WWE Championship. That's your outright champion. I don't even care if they face in a match at Crown Jewel and the heavyweight champion wins. It's still the WWE champion that's the bigger deal, right? So I know. So I sort of like this setup. I think it ticks all the boxes. I think it gives you 2 champs on both brands. We know who the bigger champ is. We know who the face is. We know what belt's main event in WrestleMania. We know that even if you've got the World Heavyweight Championship, there's another level to go to. And I sort of like the setup, honestly. I think it works. But maybe not for everyone. Maybe not everyone's going to agree. But, I like it. Akeem said the WCW Championship went back a long way. It did. But I think the WWE Championship obviously meant more to certainly WWE fans. The WCW Championship was created outside of the NWA Championship. So I don't believe, I could be wrong on this because I'd have to double check it, but I don't believe the WCW Championship went all the way back. I think it only went back to when they created it in the early 90s. So, because obviously before that they were using the NWA Championship, but the NWA Championship ended up they separated, they broke away from the NWA in the early 90s. So they created their own championship. And so I don't think it had that history, that lineage. So, yeah, I mean, look, it was a belt that meant something, but it was never something that was comparable to the WWE Championship in my mind. It was an important title, and it was a world title. But, again, look at the people that carried it. Jack Swagger and Mark Henry and, when Daniel Bryan got his first championship, it wasn't the WWE one. It was the World Heavyweight one. Those people, similar to now, are people that deserved a shot, deserved an opportunity at getting that belt. But I think even back then, the WWE Championship was seen as the more prestigious championship. I forgot that the World and the United States title were belts that were brought in from WCW. Yes. Yep. I was into AWA over NWA, to be honest, said William. Will The Rock get a championship again? He's got one. The People's Championship, which I still think is going to play a part in a storyline coming up, to be honest. Could Ryback get one more run? Don't think so. I think those bridges are burnt. Jericho was the first to unify the WWE and WCW after the Invasion storyline, said Taker 1990. Yes. Well remembered. Good knowledge. Right, I think we're done anyway, because otherwise we're going to fall into the flipping trap that we did the other day and just stick around and just have chats for hours after. Did you ever see the clip of Brock throwing the Universal at Vince? I did. That was in Gorilla after, I think it was after a WrestleMania match, wasn't it? He was peeved about something. I don't know if I know what it was, actually. But yeah, that was in Gorilla. Sunday, we should watch the first Evolution, said Akeem. Well, honestly, buds, I'm hoping that... I would love to, by the way. But I'm hoping that that's what they'll do on WWE Vault. I'm hoping WWE Vault are going to put something up, and then I'm on it, mate. I'm on it. I'd love to watch the first Evolution. I don't think I've seen it since it aired live. So, yes, I'd be really down to do that, honestly. Okay, right, we're done, kids. Appreciate people joining us. I hope you enjoyed this Evolve stream. And yeah, I mean, tomorrow we've got a member stream, and then we've got Wrestling Escape Pods. Friday, I'm not here. Saturday, I have no idea what I'm doing at this stage. And Sunday, I'm hoping for a watch along. And then, of course, Monday, we're back and we're on the road to Saturday night's main event, Evolution, all of that stuff. So lots on the way. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it as always. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.